Yo. We back again. You know we never slacking off. Judah Ben. Yo. Ladies and gents, get prepared for another greater event. If you never linked, then make an attempt. On Fridays, there's really no other way to be spent. Tune in, hit the link, and leave likes and comments. Welcome to TD Sports Talk. Here we bring sports and entertainment weekly. They break it down deeply. Come peep me as I spit, leave most confused. Pay attention while I introduce the host and crew. Starting off, we got Tommy the host. He plugged in, his predictions transparent like a ghost. Yo, I think that he been doing this the most. He first joined in March 2013. His resume was first seen. Then we got the co-host, Mr. Socrates. His analogy surgical like a doctor squeeze. The live show was nasty like a dirty beer. Tommy and Sock, they've been friends for over 30 years. Peep me, we got the final host D-Free from out of DC. You need to wake up, you sleepy. If you're checking out the live and you feel the vibes, like the video, subscribe, get notified. Take a picture cause this moment should be polarized. Tommy's legacy and resume is notarized. Whether it's Friday or Saturday, he going live. Click the bell and I promise you'll get notified. Yeah. Welcome to TD Sports Talk. Friday and Saturday. Tune in. They're going live late. Word them up. Shout out to Tommy, Socrates, D-Free. Word them up, word them up. Judah Ben. Yo. Tell a friend to tell a friend, son.
Champ of the world. Shout out to TD Sports. TD Sports. Let's go, champ.
Yo, what is good? What's good? Hope all is well on this Friday, October the 18th. And, we back. Friday Night Sports Talk. Here, talking some ish, boxing, football. We got Yankees playing right now. That's why I've been kind of like delaying because I've been watching the Yankees right now. Trying to go up 3-1. There's a heartbreak last night. They came back in like the bottom of the top of the eighth, and then they end up, the Cleveland ended up tying it with like 2 outs in the ninth, and and then they won in the 10th inning, which was crazy. And right now the Yankees were up 6-3, and now it's 6-5 as the Guardians just scored. So, this is going to be another nail biter, one that, going to be stressing me out. But I'm not watching at the moment because I'm on with you guys. And I'm here with my guy, my man, D-Free. What's going on, D-Free? How's everything?
Man, everything good. I'm on my way to work. I got up a little late. I was like, oh, snap. I'm supposed to be on my way to work. Forgot today was Friday. I was sitting there laying in that nice, warm, king-size bed and forgot.
I feel you. I mean, it must be tough working on a Friday night. Then you got to work late too, and you're protecting and serving too. Jesus Cristo.
Yeah, I mean, it gets tough sometimes, especially like when you want to do something on Friday. I mean, fortunately enough for me, I'm a boss man, so I can put somebody in that spot if I want to. But it's only 4 hours, so I don't mind getting out of the house for like 4 hours out of the week. So it don't bother me as much. Like if I really want the day off or I don't want to do it, I can always have somebody else work that site for me. But I like doing it from time to time.
Okay. Well, we got a few things to talk about. Nothing crazy, We had some fights last week. We had Undisputed last week, as you see on the screen. My man John Cena, because you can't see us, and that goes to everybody out there, all you other YouTube content creators. You can't see us, but for real, like we got a few things. We had last week. We had Beterbiev versus Bivol. We're gonna talk about that, and then tomorrow we got Tim Tszyu returning. He's got a tough fight against an undefeated Russian. Where are these Russians coming from? Out of nowhere. Like lately, these Russians coming out of nowhere. And then, of course, in the second half of the show, we'll be talking a little bit of football. We'll go over our picks, and then we'll make our predictions for Week 7. D-Free, you and a couple others had some great weeks. Me, on the other hand, not so good, as I'm the strongest in the league right now, and as far as the picks, because I'm holding everybody up at the bottom.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, give me about 5 minutes. I gotta put some gas in my car real quick.
All right, no worries. Go ahead, take your time. So so in the second half, we'll be talking some football. Let me acknowledge some people that are in the chat came in early. My man, Mr. Shelton, how you doing? If anybody don't know where that's from, look it up. I'm not saying. My man DP Rocker was good with you. Salute. And my man G5 Gabe, what's going on? What's popping? And my man Joseph Townsend, what's good, bro? Hope everything is well. Salute to you. So D-Free's going to be back in a few. Sock will join us a little bit late as usual. You know, Sock is one of the hardest working men in the business right now. You know, he has his day job, and then he has his strength and conditioning in the afternoon and night. And, you know, he also has kids as well. And, you know, he's a family man as well. So, you know, he's a little bit busy more of late. You know what I'm saying? You know, he's working with professional fighters as well. So, you know, so he's a busy man, but he'll be on later, especially for the football part. We may have some special guests. I did send a link to Ishe Smith. Ishe Smith was able to join us last week. Ishe Smith was great last week. He, you know, gave us, you know, talking about Tank and, you know, because Ishe Smith had a great relationship with Tank and not so much now. So, but I thought that was pretty good. We was talking about the, you know, the preview to the Undisputed fight last week, you know, which we're going to recap in a minute. You know, some people say it's controversial. Some people crying robbery. I just think it was just a close, good, competitive fight. Also, last week, I was at a fight in New Jersey in a Prudential Center. And what's going on, Pedro? Salute to you, Pedro. I was in the Prudential Center last week, and it was a Brick City. They call it Brick City Fight Night. It was an event. I was there to see a good friend of mine, a prospect right now, make his second professional fight, Keith Cologne. And, you know, he was on with us a couple of days ago. He, you know, he had a first round knockout a little bit here as well, real quick. While D-Free gets settled, D-Free's here now, but this was last Saturday. This is from my view. Keith Cologne, hold on 1 second.
Nice one, right there.
So that was my view in the Prudential Center. Keith Cologne. If you missed it, check that out. We interviewed him on Wednesday. You know, he'll be back with us shortly. You know, as well. You know, he's got a fight coming up as well. He'll be fighting again. No opponent announced yet. You know, looking for opponents now early on in the career. Just getting his name out there and stuff like that. So he'll be fighting on the Boots Undercard in Philadelphia. And you know, I won't be able to make that fight. Maybe D-Free can make it. He's closer. So,
yeah, I'm gonna definitely try to get out there and see the young kid, the young king. That man set him up perfectly with that body shot. Brought that glove down, overhand right. It was over.
Yeah, man, it was crazy. And you know what's crazy? Set it up. Like if you noticed in the video, if you watch the video. I got it all over on my YouTube channel as well. And also Keith Cologne has a channel as well. Salute to you, Frontline. He just dropped this short. He's been dropping the videos as well. But before that knockout, he hit him with the stiff jab and like caught him off balance. And then he saw that and then just came with the 1-2, that overhand right, straight right, and just lights out. So, but yeah, man, salute to Keith Cologne. DC is closer to Philadelphia. Yeah, it's DC is closer. He's like D-Free, you're like an hour and a half away, right?
From Philly?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like an hour and a half from where I'm at.
Yeah, and for me it's like 3 hours. So
yeah, I can get there roughly like an hour and a half. Because Philly is only like 2 hours away from DC, but I moved closer to Baltimore, so I'm like in between Baltimore and DC. So it's only like an hour and a half away from where I'm at.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So another thing, tomorrow we may go live as well in the afternoon or in the evening. I got an interview lined up. I don't really want to say who it is. It's a former fighter. Well, I want to say former fighter, but he's a former known fighter. He's still fighting at age, I believe he's like 50 or 51 years old, still fighting. I'll post it up later on tonight or maybe tomorrow morning as I confirm the time. But we got an interview lined up tomorrow afternoon, evening. Just want to confirm the time. I mean, we kind of confirmed the time already with him, but I may push it forward depending, because we got other guys that want to be in the interview as well, like Sock and 503 and stuff. So, but yeah, so stay tuned for that. This Wednesday is another fight here in the Garden, the Bella Promotions, Broadway Boxing, I guess that's what they're calling it. They've got a fight. I'll be there. Some good fights. Looking to see Sharita Metcalf out of Dallas, Texas, to become the first women's champion out of Dallas. So that hopefully that'll be something special, something we could see special that Wednesday night. But anyway, let's get to it, man. The first things first, we're going to talk about last week, Undisputed. Artur Beterbiev versus Dimitri Bivol. I thought it was a great fight. You guys can post in the comments who you thought won. I personally scored it for Beterbiev. I had it 115-113, 7 rounds to 5. I thought there was a couple swing rounds in there that could have changed. Depending on your view, it could have been 7-5 the other way. I thought it was a really good fight. It kind of underachieved as far as Undisputed and far as everybody thought it was a great big fight and stuff like that. But, it was a good fight. It wasn't this great Undisputed fight, or mega fight. It was just big because it was Undisputed, and it's the first time, I believe, ever Undisputed at 175. But I had it 115-113 for Artur Beterbiev. D-Free, how did you see it?
Oh yeah, I had Artur Beterbiev winning that fight as well. It was a close fight. I think Artur, he was the more active fighter, and he threw a lot more punches. I think it was almost like 200 punches more than what Bivol threw, and he didn't land as many as Bivol, but I think it was only off by like four punches, something like that. And when you look at that later half of the fight, especially the championship rounds, it was clear that Artur won those rounds. I believe it was the 11th round where I don't recall Bivol throwing a single shot in that round. He stayed on his bike almost the entire round, and that in my opinion cost Artur that fight. If he would have won one or two of those last championship rounds between 10 and 12, if he would have won one of those or two of those, we'll have a different outcome. It's probably a draw, or it's probably a win in his favor. But he didn't win those rounds, and a lot of times that determines the outcome of the fight, because depending on how you look at the earlier rounds, because a lot of the earlier rounds were swing rounds, and so you could have gave those earlier rounds to either fighters, and it seemed like some of the judges gave some of those swing rounds, well, most of those swing rounds to Artur. So when you got swing rounds and you got a guy who's pressing the action, there are a lot of times they tend to give those rounds to the person that's pressing the action. So I believe that's the reason why Artur won. But it wasn't a bad fight, and it wasn't robbery like a lot of people are sitting here calling it. When you got a close fight, a real good fight, you have situations like this where it's real close and the fight could have went either way. It all depends on how you score those rounds in the earlier part of that fight.
Yeah, exactly. And I saw it the same way you did. Those championship rounds, I thought Artur clearly won those rounds. I clearly thought he won 10, 11, 12. I didn't think those rounds were even close, and those are the championship rounds. He closed the show, as far as I'm concerned. Maybe other people saw it different, and I have no problem with that. Your eyes see what they see, right? But I clearly had Beterbiev winning the fight. Not clearly, I had him winning the fight. I'm gonna tell you, the first 4 rounds, as you said, I had Bivol up 3-1. I gave Bivol the first 2 rounds, and I gave him the 4th. So after 4 rounds, I gave Bivol 3 of the first 4 rounds. So I had him up 3-1, and then I gave Artur the 5th, 6th, and 7th. And my notes had it that the 5th and the 7th round, I have it as swing rounds. So I may look at the fight again because my notes are sloppy, but I have 5th and 7th swing rounds, meaning that you could have scored those rounds easily for Bivol as well, but I gave those rounds to Beterbiev. 9 and 10, I had it for 8 and 9. So 5, 6, 7 half for Beterbiev. 8 and 9, I had it for Bivol, right? And then as we said earlier, I said the championship rounds 10, 11, 12 I had for Beterbiev. So that was my personal scorecard. So I scored it. I shared that with a couple people as well, so they saw my breakdown. So, but it was a close fight. I see people calling robbery. A friend of mine yesterday said it was controversial. I don't see anything controversial about it at all. I mean, you got to have a winner, you got to have a loser, and then sometimes there's a tie. Controversial is when Whitaker fought Chavez, right? That was a controversial draw. That was a clear beating that Whitaker gave Chavez and a clear boxing lesson, and they scored a draw. That's a robbery. That's controversial. That's, a robbery is when somebody clearly won the fight and he walks away with no victory. You robbed him of a victory. Here, I don't believe anybody was robbed, and Bivol definitely was not robbed of this fight. Now, could he have got the decision? Of course, right? I mean, it was a close fight, so
I do believe there was a robbery in that fight. I think Bivol robbed his fans of the effort those championship rounds. He didn't give no effort in those championship rounds, so he robbed his own fans.
That's a fair assessment and a fair point. You're right. Because those are the rounds you want to really show and win, and you want to close the show. I mean, that's the expression that we use. It closed the show, and he didn't do that. And you're right. He robbed the fans, and he didn't go after it, especially that 12th round. That 12th round, he didn't go for it. 88 Sports Talk says, in a close fight, you lose championship rounds, you're most likely going to lose the fight or draw at best. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't understand what these fighters be thinking about when you're in a championship fight and you know that you've been hit a few times and you heard the crowd roar when he hit you. You're supposed to close that fight out. Whether you believe you got it won or not, it's a championship fight. You've been in the sport of boxing long enough and you watch fights and you've seen guys, quote unquote, get robbed. You're supposed to give 110% until that last bell has rung, because you never know what the judges are seeing. You never let up off the gas because you don't know what's going to happen at the end of that fight. You don't know what the judges saw early in that fight. You don't know what the judges saw late in that fight. You always give 110% effort until that last bell is rang.
Absolutely. And I'm 1,000% agree with you. Now, a lot of people saying, that I've seen and read, including myself, we thought that this fight underachieved. We thought that, yes, it's Undisputed and they built this fight. I didn't really see the card. I was at another event, so I didn't really pay attention. Even though it was during the day, I was traveling and I didn't really pay attention to the event. And it was pay-per-view. I was lucky enough to see it on ESPN Plus, because I'm subscribed to ESPN Plus, I have a subscription. So I was able to see it there. I saw some of it on the train ride to Newark, and then some of it, while we was there, some of the rounds. And then when I got home, I watched it. I watched it late that night, and in the morning I scored it. So, but to me, it was underachieving. It did not, it did not satisfy me fully as a boxing fan the way they hyped the fight to be, right? So my question to you and to people in the chat and to the people out there watching is that, do you want to see it again?
Yeah, I do want to see it again, because I think the fight will be a little bit different. I still think the outcome will be the same. I think Artur will win, but I think in a rematch, I think Artur possibly stops him, and the reason I say that is because we got to remember Artur was coming off a year layoff and he was coming off knee surgery. So I think that played a part in his mobility in that fight. he wasn't moving as he normally does. Normally we see Artur move a little more. At times he was just standing and just turning. We saw Artur being there with boxers before, and they try to keep Artur moving, and we saw Artur able to cut the ring off and keep up with the opponent. And I know people say, "Oh, but Bivol is a better boxer than some of those other guys." Whether he's a better boxer or not, I saw Artur not move as easily as he normally does. He looked a little stiff, and it looked like he had some ring rust. He didn't look old, because I mean, you could clearly see that he didn't look old. He still had the snap on his punches. He still had the ring IQ and stuff like that. He just didn't look like his normal self that would normally cut the ring off and apply the pressure easier. So I think it would be a little different. The only problem I have with the rematch is I heard the IBF is stepping in once again, and they ordering a fight with the IBF mandatory. Some guy, I forgot his name, but he's the IBF mandatory, and they ordering that fight. So I don't know if Artur is going to be forced to take that fight, or if he's going to drop the belt and have the rematch with Bivol.
Yeah, I did see that as well. The IBF they never honor Undisputed, they don't honor rematches pretty much. So they don't, they want you to fight the number one guy. I think it's silly, especially in this scenario, especially in a close fight like this. I think, what the IBF should do, or what, Beterbiev should do, somebody pay this guy step aside money, right? Which would probably be a nice little check for him not to fight, and make it another undisputed fight. I think that's what should be done.
I think Eddie Hearn, since they crying so much, I think they should be the one to pay the step aside money, since they crying so much and they feel like they was quote unquote robbed of a victory. They should pay the step aside money so Bivol have a chance to be undisputed, because even if he beat him, he's not going to be undisputed until he fight this other guy. If Beterbiev decide to drop his title and fight Bivol in a rematch, he's not going to be undisputed. He's still going to have to fight this other guy. So
yeah,
if you want to be undisputed by beating Artur, I think you should pay the step aside money.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's what they should do. I think that's the most logical thing to do. And if they can't do it, I think you still make the fight, because I think, it's a close fight. It'll be no doubt. And they have to do it quick. Beterbiev is getting older. And I kind of agree with what 88 is saying here. And I think I mentioned as well. He says yes, but I think Beterbiev wins again. And if Bivol does anything else different, he gets stopped badly. And I believe that, because I think what's going to happen in the rematch, if it happens quick, I think Bivol will probably step on the gas a little bit more and open up, because he'll probably feel like he can't win a decision, and I think he'll leave himself open, and I think he'll probably get stopped badly. That's just my opinion. I like to see it, but then again, Beterbiev is up there in age, he could turn old overnight. You know what I'm saying? So, if they do make this fight, I want it to happen early next year. I mean, February, March, I think that's good enough time. That's 4 months, right? I think they should just do that quick and just get it out the way. If Bivol wins, and if it's close, then they can have a third fight. And, it'd be nice if they have this one in the States this time. I kind of doubt it. They'll probably do it in Saudi. But, it looked like in that Saudi, I don't know about you, it looked like that little small arena, like there's pretty much nobody there. Like it looked packed, but it looked small. It looked like the theater of Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the same arena that they normally have the Saudi fights in. I believe it is, because I believe they built that stadium so they can have those fights. So I don't know. Maybe they put up another ring, and maybe they use another part of the building. I'm not sure if they got more than one part of the building, because I remember when they first did that fight over there in Saudi, the very first fight, they had the undercard in one side of the building, and then when the main event happened, everybody moved over to the other side. So I'm not sure if they was in a smaller part of that arena.
Yeah, it was weird. I remember that they moved. Yeah, they went to another side, and they had like a concert and stuff too. Like, I don't know. It's I don't know what they're doing over there. They have the money to do whatever they want, but it'd be nice to be a little bigger arena. But maybe they're not getting a lot of people to go over there. They got the money to put up the fights, but maybe boxing is not as big, to the people that are in Saudi. I don't know. Because I feel like all the people that do go to these events are like celebrities and former fighters, and they're probably comped. They're probably comped to go. They're probably paying those guys to come see the fight. So then they're not even paying for the ticket. So I don't know. It's weird. I think they should try to maybe have it in the States, have it at night, right? Because if it's in the States, it'll be at night for us rather than in the afternoon or in the late afternoon. But yeah, I'm gonna just go over these CompuStat numbers real quick. As you mentioned earlier, Beterbiev threw about 250 more punches. He threw 682 punches compared to Bivol's 423. Bivol had a better percentage because he threw less. He landed 142 at a 33.6%. Bivol landed 137 at a 20.1%. So Bivol more accurate on his punches. He landed more punches, 5 more punches, and threw less. So that's something they can use it as far as weighing in on the decision. They threw less and landed more, better percentage. Total jabs, Beterbiev threw 376 jabs, only landed 47. Bivol landed more jabs at 58 and threw far less at 255. So 22.7% of the jabs compared to 12.5% for Beterbiev. And in the power punches, Beterbiev threw more power punches, but yet again he threw about 140 more power punches. So he landed 90 of 306 power punches. That's a 29.4%. And then Bivol was a great percentage and 50%, 84 out of 168. So as far as the numbers in CompuBox are concerned, Bivol was more accurate in the fight. He landed a few more punches. He landed more punches and was more accurate in the fight. So as far as Eddie Hearn and his promoter and Bivol, they got a case for a rematch. I believe they protested, right? I believe they protested this fight. Like, not protested, I don't know if I'm using the right word. They what's the word?
No, they protested the fight. They
protested the fight, the decision.
Yeah, the decision.
Yeah, so
they went to
it's not going to get overturned. Yeah, it won't get overturned, but that's something for them maybe to get that rematch. But the curse of Eddie Hearn continues. The curse of Eddie Hearn continues, like 88 Sports Talk says. It says Eddie Hearn always crying, getting his ass kicked by Frank Warren. I mean, he's been getting his ass kicked by everybody, not just Frank Warren. It's just a little bit more embarrassing because that's his UK buddy. But yeah, the curse of Eddie Hearn continues. It's not looking good for him and his fighters. A lot of his big main event fighters lost this year. So
that's an eye opener for Jerome Buzinez and Shakur Stevenson. They gotta make sure they stay on their guard and finish their fights.
Yeah, and they got a big fight coming up too. Boots has a big fight, next month, a rematch versus Karen. I can't pronounce his name, which is weird. He won that fight. I mean, it was a tough fight. I expect Boots to go out and maybe put a better show in front of his home crowd and stop this guy. But yeah, I mean, Eddie Hearn, the curse continues for him. So I was trying to look for a little video I had of Tim Tszyu, but I don't have it because we're going to lead up and talk about Tim Tszyu now tomorrow. But that's the fight tomorrow. So this weekend we got some fights down in Orlando, and Tim Tszyu is back after his loss to Sebastian Fundora, where he was cut badly with a blip by the elbow, and a fight that should have been stopped, but he went and he tried to go on, and his team let him go on, and he lost the fight. A fight he probably would have won if he didn't get cut. He hurt Fundora, I believe, in the second round. But now hopefully that cut is healed, because that was a very bad spot, very bad cut. And he's got a big fight against a Russian I don't really know much about. I just know that he's undefeated, 22-0, and he's got 8 knockouts? Let me see.
He got 16 knockouts.
16 knockouts. 22 and 0, 16 knockouts. So I don't know much about this guy. I never know much about any of these Russians that come out of nowhere and get these big fights. You've seen a Russian fight Crawford, and so do you know anything much about this guy? Bakram Murtazaliev or Zilev?
Yeah, I know a little bit about him. He's a similar fighter to Tim Tszyu. He's gonna come forward and press the action. He's somewhat of a big puncher. He has a higher knockout ratio than Tim Tszyu by, I think, 2%. I think he's at like 73%. Tim Tszyu is at 71%. But the problem that I have with this fighter is he started his career 2 years prior to Tim Tszyu. And he started in 2014. Tim Tszyu started in 2016. But this dude is not a real active fighter as of late. Like all of last year, he didn't have not one single fight. The last fight he had was in 2022, prior to the fight he had this year in April. So he went off 16 months prior to having a fight in April. Now he got a big win in that fight. I think he got a knockout in that fight, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he got a knockout in the 11th round against Jack Koke.
Yeah. So he's a sturdy guy. He's gonna press the action, and it's gonna be an action-packed fight. But like I said, he's a similar fighter to Tim Tszyu. I'm not gonna say he's a bad fighter, but I think the major difference between the two is the level of competition. I think Tim Tszyu. Well, I know Tim Tszyu had better competition than this guy. When you look at his resume, you might not recognize any of those names unless you a diehard boxing fan and you just watch boxing every single time that it's on TV. Most of those guys on his resume, you probably don't recognize none of them. So Tim Tszyu have the better opposition that he has faced compared to his opponent. So I think that's going to play a part in this fight. I think Tim Tszyu beats him. I don't know if Tim Tszyu stops him, but I think Tim Tszyu beats him because the one thing I can say about a lot of those Russian guys, they're real rugged and they're real sturdy. They're going to come to fight and they're going to make sure in every aspect that they're prepared for that fight.
Yeah, I don't really know much about it, and I appreciate you letting us, giving us a little info about him. I like Tim Tszyu. I like Tim Tszyu. I'm a fan of Tim Tszyu. I'm not saying he's a great fighter. I think he's a good fighter who can be great. I like Tim Tszyu because I really do believe that he wants to fight the best competition. I truly believe that. Now, until he proves otherwise, I really do believe that. Now, I don't like the fact that he's not getting a rematch against Fundora, especially when Fundora was a substitute pretty much, because Fundora wasn't even supposed to have that fight. He was supposed to fight, I believe, I forgot who he was supposed to fight. I think it was supposed to be Mendoza or
no, he was supposed to
the Russian, right?
Sebastian was supposed to fight. I believe it was
the Russian. I think that fought Virgil Ortiz.
Yeah, I believe it was the Russian. I think Tim Tszyu was supposed to fight Virgil.
Yeah, Tim Tszyu was supposed to fight. No, first Tim Tszyu was supposed to fight. I think, was it Thurman?
Yeah, it was Keith Thurman.
And then somebody else got hurt before that. Or was it that? I can't even remember. But I know it was Thurman at first. And then I don't know if it was somebody else and then they pulled out. But it was Thurman. But yeah, and then they put Sebastian in there. And Sebastian was coming off a loss. But the point I'm trying to make is, I wish this was a rematch with Fundora because I think he deserved it. I didn't think Fundora deserved a title fight, but of course the show got to go on. They were both set and they were both in training, and they were supposed to fight in the same card. But I think this is the fight that Tszyu should have had, was with Fundora. So hopefully after this fight we see, Tim Tszyu handles his business and does his job. I'm hoping we get to see Tim Tszyu fight for a title again because I like Tim Tszyu, and I think, I really believe that he likes to fight. He wants to fight the best competition. Real quick, let me shout out my man A1 Hoop Zone. I highlighted his comment. We were talking. Salute to you, bro. Thanks for coming through. But yeah, I don't know. How do you feel about Tim Tszyu as a fighter in general?
Tim Tszyu actually grew on me
Mhm.
because Tim Tszyu, prior to the fight that I think it was the fight right before he fought Tony Harrison, I wasn't a real big Tim Tszyu fan. I thought he at that time I thought that he was using Jermell Charlo for clout, and he was just trying to call out Jermell Charlo just to bring some notoriety to himself. But then as I started watching him more, he grew on me, and I realized no, he really wants those fights. He wanted that fight with Charlo, and he wanted the big names, and he even told everybody, I'm gonna start fighting in America because that's where the money's at, and that's where the bigger fights are at is in America. So he grew on me when I saw that he really wanted those fights to challenge himself. I said, okay, yeah, this dude really wants to fight. He's not just using Jamel's name for clout. He really wants that fight. And so I started watching Tim Tszyu a little bit more and realized, okay, he is a decent fighter because I was putting him in the same boat as Jaime Magia. But when I watched Tim Tszyu, I was like, nah, he's a real good fighter, and he really wants these big names in the ring. He's not just using it for clout. He really wants those guys.
Yeah, and I truly believe that also. Like, when he was first calling out Charlo, and this is before Charlo, got the fight with Canelo, I was like, there's no way he beats Charlo, right? Like I want to see the fight, but there's no Charlo's gonna beat this guy back, But now different story. Now I don't know. I kind of favor Tim Tszyu a little bit. We haven't seen Charlo since Canelo, so but that's the good word to use. He's grown on me as well. I like him. He comes out at the end of the fights. What's my motherfucking name? So that's I was trying to pull the video up. I couldn't find it, but I'm a fan. I respect it. This is the fight business, the hurt business, and I like a little smack talk, and and I want to see the best fight the best. I want to see the top guys fight the top guys, and I believe he's up there. I just think he got kind of unlucky in his last fight, and his team did him an injustice by not stopping the fight. So hopefully he can take care of business. Against looks like a tough Russian, undefeated guy who doesn't want to lose a zero. He's trying to make a name for himself as well. So let's do it. It says it's for the IBF World Super Welterweight. So is this is the title vacant, or is this like one of those interim?
It's the vacant title. I think that's the other title that they took from Jamel. So
okay,
it's the guy that he's facing. He was awarded the IBF title when Jamel was stripped of that title. So that's the IBF belt that's actually on the line.
Okay.
But he didn't like I said, he didn't fight anybody to get that belt. I believe he was the number one contender in the IBF when they stripped Jermell Charlo, so he was awarded that title.
Okay. So that makes sense. So that's good. I mean, so Tim Tszyu gets a chance to be a champion again. Like, it's not the rematch for the title he lost, but he gets to be a champion again. So good for him. So, if he gets this win, he'll be champion, and then let's see what happens, after if he wins. The card looks a little bit stacked. I believe this card is in Orlando, Florida. I also heard, I don't know if it's true. This was told to me a few weeks ago in New York when Xander fought here in New York, Madison Square Garden. Xander trains down there in Florida. That Xander was going to be at this fight, and supposedly if Tim Tszyu won, he was going to go into the ring and challenge Tim Tszyu for the title. That's what I've heard. That was a few weeks ago. I don't know how accurate that is. We'll have to see about that.
Danny who?
Who?
Danny who?
I said Xander Zayas.
Oh, Xander. I thought you said Danny. I was about to say Danny.
No. Did I say Danny? I thought I said Xander Zayas. Xander who lives
here. Said Danny. You might have said Xander. It just sounded like you said Danny.
Oh, okay. No, Xander Zayas, yeah, because he lives in Florida and he trains in Florida. So that was the rumor that he was going to be at this fight, and if Tim Tszyu won, he was going to challenge Tim Tszyu for the title. I don't know how true that is. It'd be interesting. I don't personally think Xander is ready just yet. I think that'll be a great fight. I would love to see it, but I don't want to see Xander in there with Tim Tszyu just yet. That's me personally. That's me being a kind of babying fighters, right? Because I know other people be like, nah, let's do it, fight now, and I respect it. We don't have to rush things, so that's just me personally. But what do you think of that? If Xander was to actually go ahead and do that?
I think it'll be a good fight. I'm right there with you. I don't know if Xander is ready for that fight yet, because let's be honest, he's not a prospect anymore because he's a contender, but he hasn't worked himself up to that level yet of getting in the ring with guys like Tim Tszyu and the Jamel Charlos and the Sebastian Fendoras and those type of guys. He hasn't worked his way to that level just yet. He's right there, but he still needs, I think, like 2 more fights before he's actually ready to challenge one of those guys. Get in the ring with somebody like Erickson Lubin first. If you get in there with a guy like Erickson Lubin and he beats Erickson Lubin, especially if he beats him convincingly, then I say, okay, yeah, he's ready for a Tim Tszyu or a Sebastian Fedor or somebody like that. I say he's ready if he gets in the ring with a Erickson Lubin and beats him convincingly.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Just beat him, period. Just beat him, period. If he beats Erickson Lubin, I think he's ready.
I agree with you, and 88 agrees too. He says Xander needs 2 more years. Wow, 2 more years? I was saying 2 more fights.
I don't know about 2 more.
2 more years might be a little bit too long, but hey, I respect it. I mean, he's still young. I believe he's only like 21, maybe 22.
Yeah,
I could be wrong.
He's 20.
I mean,
I think he might have just turned 22 because I know his birthday is later in the year. He might have just turned 22.
He says Tszyu would punish him. I don't know. I mean, but I just don't think he's ready. But Opulent says 2 more fights as well. But I agree. I wouldn't want Lubin though, even though Lubin's been calling for it. One reason why I don't want Lubin now, in my opinion, Lubin got a gift in his last fight. But with that gift, Lubin deserves a title shot as well. So I think I can honestly see Lubin getting a title shot in his next fight. Maybe it might be Tszyu as well. So, but I know Lubin has called for Xander as well. I know that there's been some smack talking, and they're both in Florida, and I believe they know each other. I think they both, because Lubin is from Florida as well. But yeah, that'll be good against a Lubin, would be good. But I think for Lubin, being that he got that win the last fight, I think he's in line for a title shot. So let Lubin get his shot to fight for a world title. I think he deserves it, right? Because I think Lubin came out the gate too fast, and now we're calling maybe for Xander to do the same thing, and you saw what happened to Lubin when he took the Charlo fight. I thought that fight was too early for him, and it kind of messed up his career a little bit, right? So, and Lubin's a good fighter. I think Lubin gets a bad rap, talking about he has a bad chin, but I think Lubin is a good fighter. I think Lubin can beat some of the top super welterweights as well. So I'd rather see Lubin fight for a title, and then maybe Xander sneak up in there and fight Lubin, and they can have that fight in Florida, and that fight would do well because they both in Florida too. So, but that's something to look forward to in the future. But yeah, Xander, 2 more fights, but I'm curious to see if he actually goes ahead and calls out Tszyu in this fight. I mean, we'll see. That was just a rumor, and that was just people were talking about.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, if the young man is ready for it and he feel like he's up for the challenge, I mean, hey, by all means, I'm not here to babysit nobody. But if it was my fighter, I would have said 1 to 2 more fights before you get in the ring with that. I need to see you in there with another real tough opponent and see how you do with that opponent. If I put him in there with somebody who they look at as a gatekeeper, and I think that's another thing about Lubin. I think they starting to look at Lubin as a gatekeeper. Not saying that he is a gatekeeper. I think they looking at him as a gatekeeper because, I mean, let's be honest. He had that fight with Roman. I mean, with Jesus Ramos. Was it Ramos?
Ramos, yeah.
Right. So I didn't believe he won that fight. His own team didn't believe he won that fight, and he got the fight. I mean, he got the win. But you haven't heard about Lubin since then. You haven't heard him since then. And that was almost a year ago, maybe longer.
That was September of last year. It was Ramos.
Yeah.
Jesus
that was
Ramos
a year
Jr.
ago.
Yeah, and I agree. They did look at him more as like a stepping stone as a gatekeeper. But him winning that fight, I think, put him in line because they were building Ramos Jr. up. So, I thought Ramos Jr. won the fight. It was close because he did step, take his foot off the pedal in that fight and let Lubin back into it. But I still thought that Ramos won the fight. But yeah, I think Lubin is still competitive. It's kind of bad that he hasn't fought in over a year. Wow, and the year's almost over. So I thought he was going to fight in December. Maybe he still may fight in December. That was what I heard. I also heard that Lubin's working with the same coaches as Berlanga's coaches. So I heard that he's working with Ferre. And maybe Sock, when he gets on, he'll talk more about that because I think Sock was the one that told me that. So maybe Lubin will get a fight this year.
Lubin too. I just saw Lubin Wednesday. He was at the Chris Colbert fight. He was in the audience at the Chris Colbert fight on Wednesday.
Okay. Because that pro box was in Florida, right?
Yeah, it was in Florida.
Yeah, and he's there, and those guys, the Berlanga's trainers, they have something. They work with pro box, so they have some fighters that in the gym there, and so I think I'm almost positive Sock was the one that told me that they're working with Lubin as well. So. And that they were supposed to fight in December. So I don't know if that's true or not, if it comes, but he does need to fight soon because he hasn't fought since September of last year. So we shall see. Looking at the card, on this card is one of your cousins is on the card. Another guy that hasn't fought in a long time. Antonio Russell.
Antonio Russell's on that card. That's his comeback fight. He's been out of the ring for 2 years. So that's his comeback fight since his last fight where he got stopped in that fight.
Yeah, I was at that fight. I was in the Barclays.
Yeah, I'm eager to see how he looks in this fight because he ain't been in the ring since that fight.
Yeah,
and I've been asking what's going on with Antonio because Antoine's been getting fights. I think Antoine had like 2 fights since then, and Antonio hadn't been in the ring since. So I was trying to figure out what was going on with him. So I'm happy to see that he's getting back in the ring.
I believe his last fight was August. Let me just look this up. Was August 2022? No, October. So that was the was that the Deontay Wilder card? I think it was in Brooklyn. I know it was definitely in the Barclays. I know I was at the fight. So
that was the
that was
fight.
His last fight.
I think that happened right. That was right after his father had passed. I think it was right after his father had passed.
Yeah. So he's and then he fought the guy twice. That was the second time he fought him, and it was a technical decision. It was an accidental headbutt. But this fight tomorrow for him is a 6-rounder. So I'm assuming they put him in there with somebody just to get some rounds in, get his feet wet, again, and to get maybe an easy win. And then, then hopefully he'll be back in the ring like in 2 months or so. Like, I mean, that would be the plan I would have for him. Like, give 6 rounds, maybe look good, and then get back in there in another couple of months, Also on the card, we got Yanis Telis. He's fighting Johan Gonzalez. Yanis Telis, 8-0. He's Cuban. He's 24 years old. He's a super welterweight. Another guy that looks good. I know a friend of mine here in New York, representing PYP Boxing. They like him a lot. I think they've had him on their show. So look out for this guy, Yanis Telis. He's 8-0 with 6 knockouts. So he's fighting a guy with like 38 fights. He's fighting Johan Gonzalez, who's 35-3. So that's a good fight for him. So we'll see how good he is. Also on the card is Carlos Jackson out of Atlanta. I had the privilege of meeting Carlos Jackson at the LDBC Greet and Meet. Very good guy, very good dude. He's fighting an 8-rounder tomorrow also. He's fighting Ryan Lee Allen. This is an 8-rounder fight. So look out for him. He's a really good fighter, really good slick fighter, so I'll be looking forward to watching him tomorrow. Carlos Jackson tomorrow. So He's out of Atlanta, Georgia. He'll be on the card as well. Those are just some notable guys that I'm looking forward to in the fights tomorrow. I'm not sure if there's another card, but this is the only card that I know of as of right now. I've been back and forth looking at the Yankees. The Yankees are now up 8-6, going into the bottom of the ninth. Come on, let's close this game out. Sorry, guys. But it's the Yankees up 8-6. Bottom of the ninth inning. Hopefully they don't give it away like last night, and they can they'll be one win away from going to the World Series. But yeah, so back to boxing. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have for boxing. I don't know. Is there another card tomorrow, or is this the only card?
I believe there is another card tomorrow, but I'm not sure if it's anybody on there that anybody knows. I think the Zone is putting on a card tomorrow. If I'm not mistaken, I believe the Zone is putting on a card tomorrow, because remember, this card is the first Amazon Prime free card. We don't have to pay to see it. If you have Amazon Prime, you can watch it for free. It's not a pay-per-view card.
Yeah, I see O'Hara Davies is fighting out of the UK. He's fighting Adam Azim. I guess that's the main event. That's a fight tomorrow on the Zone. I guess that's in the UK. So that's another card. I'm not sure who else is on this card. I'm looking at it now. I don't really know anybody here. I saw
that they had it was another really card, but it wasn't really nobody on there that you know except for Ohio Davies. That's the only person on there that you.
And Anthony Yard is on the card too.
Oh, Anthony Yard. I didn't know.
Yeah, Anthony Yard is fighting on the card. He's fighting Rouse Vilsans. I don't know who that is. Light heavyweight fight, 10-rounder. So Anthony Yard is on the fight as well. So okay.
That's
so some fights in the afternoon. Yeah. Fights in the afternoon, I guess. So and then I think next week is a big fight. We got Regis Prograis is fighting Jack Catterall in the UK. That's an interesting fight. Regis hasn't fought since the Devin Haney loss. You know, he's never been beaten the way he got beaten by Devin Haney. So it'll be interesting to see how he rebounds going over to the UK. Jack Catterall, his last fight was a close fight, which I thought he won. He beat he got to avenge his loss, which I thought he won in the first one against Josh Taylor. So so that's an interesting fight. You know, obviously everything is going to favor Jack Catterall in his home crowd in the UK. So that's next week. Hopefully, maybe I could try to get Evans Tobler on, and maybe I could get Regis on maybe during the week too. That'll be nice. It'll be tough because they're most likely going to be in the UK now, being at the fights next week. So, you know, so we'll see what happens. But that's an interesting fight. I want to see how Regis rebounds, and you know, Jack Catterall. I want to see how good he is. So we'll see what's up. But that's it for boxing. I don't know where everybody's at. I don't know. I'm gonna hit up the Worm now, see if he comes on, and I'll text 503, see if maybe he jumps on also as well. I know 503 is a little bit busy. I know his son got a big football game tomorrow, I believe. So I'll text him in. Sock said he'll be on like around 11:30. He's probably watching the Yankee game, a jerk.
Okay.
Socrates is a Yankee hater. For all you guys that don't know, Sock is a big Red Sox fan, so he hates the Yankees. So his motto is the Red Sox is his first team, and then his second team is anybody that beats the Yankees. Yeah. Sock is what you call a real New York jerk. So, but he should be on shortly. Damn. So what I'll do now is let me message the Worm real quick, because he's always on standby.
Hit that Worm up.
He had a bad week too.
Tell him and then tell him the birds is out here.
Let me see. Let me just upload this. So the standings has changed, and then you know, a lot of people in negative money. If this was real money, we'd be in trouble. Some people doing well, some people had some big weeks. You know, still early on. Just let me just see where I get this. Hold on one second. Let me see if this is it.
Yeah.
But interesting week. Your Commanders fought fought hard this past week against the Ravens. I thought it was a good game. I thought the Commanders had some opportunities and didn't capitalize. What did you think about your Commanders this past week?
Yeah, I think there was some opportunities. Jaden Daniels proved that he's legit because everybody said, let's see how he look when he faces against a real defense. I'm like, that's what y'all said about Cleveland, and we saw what he did to Cleveland. Oh, well, Cleveland ain't got no offense like that. I was like, okay, y'all just moving the goalposts all around. But he did good. I think the real problem was we had a couple of defensive linemen that went down. Defensive end and Armstrong, he went down in that game. And then Jonathan Allen, he went down in that game. Jonathan Allen is out for the season. He tore his pec, so he's done for the season. But I think that was the main issue. They couldn't create no pressure on Lamar Jackson once those two guys went down. Not that they was creating a lot of pressure on Lamar Jackson, but they was getting there to him and flushed him out the pocket. But once those two guys went down, it wasn't really no pressure on Lamar Jackson after those two guys went down like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's still, I don't think anybody, maybe except you, would have thought that the Commanders would have came out the gate looking as good as they has looked, in the first 6 weeks. So, in a tough division,
I still, well, on paper and stuff. From what I've been seeing from these teams the last couple of weeks, I don't know how tough it really is. I mean, it's gonna be tough with us because we're a division. It's a divisional game when we play against our divisional rivals and the Giants and the Eagles and the Cowboys. But far as outside of us, the Eagles. I want to see how they look against the Giants. This is the first time Saquon is facing his old team. But Dallas, I called that too though. I said Dallas was going to have a bad game, but I didn't see that coming. I didn't see a 47-9 loss. I thought Dallas would put up a little more resistance. I thought that they was ultimately going to lose the game, but I thought they were going to put up a little more resistance. But it was like it was over from the first 3 minutes of the quarter. It was over.
The writing was on the wall for that game that we skipped over because we talked about it extensively last week. We didn't mention the two defensive studs out. We didn't even mention that, and we were all confident that Detroit was going to win. But the writing was on the wall on that for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I knew they was going to lose because of Michael Parsons and some of their defensive players that was out. Even with those defensive players there, I still didn't think that they was going to beat the Lions. It might have been a little more competitive, but I still didn't think they would beat the Lions because, let's be honest, Dallas defense hasn't looked like the defense from last year at no point
not even close
at all.
No,
they have
not even
losing
close.
Quinn, but they lost Quinn.
Yeah, Quinn is a big. Yeah, losing Quinn is big too. That's huge. They laid an egg, and you're not supposed to get your butt whips at home like that. Like when you play at home,
they haven't won a single game at home.
They haven't. They've just looked terrible.
Every one of their losses has been at home. They 3-3. They're 3-0 on the road, but they 0-3 at home.
Can I say something about? Can I say something about Jerry's World? It's just one of those other stadiums that are like the LA Stadium that they bring other fans there. That's not a real home field. Even MetLife is like that too. I went to a Bears Jet game. There was more Bear fans when they had 2 wins in week 16 than the Jets. It's just one of those stadiums that it's not a home field stadium. You're gonna get that crowd of the other team, especially Detroit they travel well. They're one of those teams that travel well.
Unless they're good. Unless they're good. So when the Jets and Giants are good, then it's different. It's not you'll see them back in there.
But when is that?
Huh?
When is that?
Well, you could tell us more about the Jets. I mean, as a
we ain't traveling anywhere the way we are.
But how do you feel? So now that welcome, Worm, to the live broadcast here. But
Thank you,
fellas, since you're here now,
yeah.
What do you feel about the trade? Getting Adams.
Can he block? I mean, it's just gonna make our GM Aaron Rodgers happier. I mean, but I mean, I'm not. Listen, it's a move that I like. Okay, but it's not the end all be all.
Yeah,
it's just a little tad. I think the thing I like the most about it that it make Garrett Wilson more open. That's what I'm more happy about. So
yeah, but he's got to get time, and Rodgers has to play better though. What do you think of Rodgers' gameplay? I mean, he hasn't played well.
You know, it's not that Rodgers hasn't played well. His ability for being an old man, it's the play calling. You have to do gadget plays. I mean, I know not everybody's a Shanahan, but put Wilson in the backfield. They did it a couple of times last week, which it worked. Like, do some gadgets. You know, you could even put Breece Hall as a slot receiver. Breece Hall's an amazing pass catcher. You have to do these gadget plays to make it in the NFL. You can't just do the standard drop back. I'm going to throw the slant to this guy, or I'm going to throw the post outside to the sideline. You have to do these gadget plays, motions. Motion is the key. Look at the Saints. They stopped doing the motion the first 2 weeks of the season. They did the most motion in the league. They had 90 points the first 2 games. And since they stopped it, they've been shit. You have to. You can't just drop back and pass.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I just had to throw that up there.
That's the thing, because I think they need to involve those running backs a little bit more, because prior to that game that they faced against the Bills this past week, those two running backs, the last 2 weeks prior to that game, the last 2 weeks, those running backs were combined for 37 yards.
That's embarrassing. Yeah,
that's terrible.
And they're the type of backs that have ability.
It was kind of a. Yeah, keep going. It was kind of a smoking mirror, because the Buffalo Bills don't have a real good rush defense. They give up 144 yards a game, and that's the 8th worst in the league. That's the 8th worst in the league. So it's kind of a smoking mirror. So you got to say, okay, yeah, they did good this week. Let me see what they do next week, because that team don't have a real good rush defense. So let me see what they do against somebody else with a better rush defense and see if they have fixed that problem. Because Bryce Hall is not a bad running back, and that rookie that they got, he's not a bad running back neither. No, those guys can make you miss, especially when they're in the open field. They dangerous when they're in the open field. So you gotta put the ball in the hands of your weapons. You can't just rely on one weapon when you got 3 other weapons out there. You got to rely on all of them, so the defense don't know where you're gonna go. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to keep them guessing. But if they know, okay, we know he's going to go there. It's like we got Adams now. We know for a fact Adams on the squad, Adams going to get at least 15 looks every single game. At least.
Yeah, and look at Lazard. He's giving Lazard all these looks all year. And Lazard's a bum to me. And he's just looking for him. Listen, like this week, like you said about the rush defense of the Bills, they got this test of the Steelers defense, their line, it's hard to run on them. So they better come up with some game plan and some motion and some sweeps, just like what Shanahan does. I hate to compare everybody to Shanahan because it's not that easy. But you have players to do it. If Shanahan, hypothetically, right? Let's just say we gave the Jets offense to Shanahan. They'd be killing everybody right now. Am I wrong or not?
Yeah. No, I agree with you. Play calling is big. Right. You know? Listen, I was happy with my offensive coordinator, but they're not running the ball. Like the last 2 weeks, Gino's been throwing the ball like the last game, 52 attempts.
Number one in the league passing. Yeah. Number one in the league passing.
It's ridiculous. The week before that, I think he was like 40-something. You know, you give Walker only 14 carries. The week before that, I think, was a few days before that, because they played the Giants Sunday and then Thursday night. You know, I think he had like 8 carries or something like that. That's ridiculous. You know, you got to establish the run. You know, you can't let defenses know, okay, we're passing every single down. You're giving the advantage to the defense also. So I mean,
no, I'm gonna tell you like this. Y'all don't run the ball this week. I swear to God, me and Thomas, we going to Seattle. I'm going to handcuff him and let Thomas whoop his ass. I swear to God, if he don't run the goddamn ball this week, I
Oh my God.
got Kenneth Walker as a running back in my fantasy. I need that man to average roughly 25 fantasy points a week. He does
Yeah, but you know,
when they run the ball. This
yeah,
man
but
is effective when they run the ball.
the Falcons can stop the run though. They're one of the tops in the league of stopping the run. It seems like every team that the Seahawks play is a team that can stop the run. I don't know what it is, and it's
Yeah,
like,
but
oh, now we got.
you still have to make attempts. You still got to have attempts and carries, and they're not doing that. You know?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think they miss. I know Charbonnet is their backup. If they had another kind of a guy a little better than Charbonnet, they'll be good, man. But they just don't want to run Walker to the ground, like we talked about last week. They're like scared of it. They're scared of it.
Yeah. Charbonnet's good. I like Charbonnet.
I don't know. When I see him from my eye test, I'm not impressed by him. And then when you see Walker, you're like, holy shit, this is like a thoroughbred running through the lines. You know, he's amazing. So the eye test to me gets me confused with those two.
Yeah.
If they, for example, if they were like a Montgomery and Gibbs, they'd be set. You know what I'm saying? Like that combination is perfect.
We've had some few surprises the last few weeks. I'm gonna throw out a team that I think that has been playing well, who I didn't think were going to be that good. A quarterback that's played well the last couple weeks at the very least. And they just flexed their game because it's a big game. You know, where they'll be taking the Commanders, I think, in a few weeks. The Bears and Caleb Williams, the quarterback that paints his nails. They've been playing well.
Yeah. What I said beginning of the year about Williams, if you look at the first week show, I said this guy he's something, man. He's special to me. I think he has that ability and it's showing now. He's a little late in the blooming, but he has it. That it's not about the scrambling and the awareness he has, and to hit those throws too. He hits you right in that pocket. He hits you right in that little. He's special. And the first few weeks I looked stupid, but he's coming back. You know, I think he's the truth, and he got that running game going too, which was a stalemate for weeks.
Yeah, the running game has picked up a little bit more too. The Bears have played. The players play well. I mean, played better, and I mean the competition hasn't been all there. They're in a tough division because it looks like it might be the best division in football right now as far as records. Right, the Lions have played well. The Vikings have been a big surprise, and then the Packers. The Packers have been playing well as well. So
we're
gonna see in a few weeks because that division is pretty tough.
And there's no pressure on him.
Make the playoffs.
And Tommy, there's no pressure on Williams in that division. It's not one of those divisions that are just mediocre and like, yo, you have a chance to take the reign. There's no pressure on him. If he's last place in that division at the end of the year this year, it's nothing. It's like, okay, you know what I'm saying? So he has that. But
I tend to disagree. There is pressure from Chicago fans. Chicago fans are crazy. They'll put pressure on him.
But that's if he plays bad. If he plays good and they still don't make it to the playoffs in their last place, but he was the bright spot, they'll let him rock.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I agree. Absolutely.
I mean, they're all-time touchdown leaders from 1946, bro. I mean, give the guy a break.
I just don't like, the painting of the nails and shit.
Tommy, this is what the generation is now. I don't even look at that when they do that anymore. I remember a guy in the Bronx, my cousin was painting his nails in '96 for the Tyson fight. I didn't say that. This is what happens. I didn't even pay attention. Play good.
You're still friends with that guy?
Yeah, it's my cousin too. I still bring it up to this day. That's why his favorite player is Caleb Williams now. Ironically.
Go figure.
Go figure, yeah. I was like, really? But this is the generation. If you play good, I'm not going to get you for that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Hey, we let Rodman pass with that, you know?
I think Caleb Williams been playing pretty good this past week. Actually been playing pretty good all year. It was a rough start to his season. But I want to see what he looked like when he faced against a good team. Similar to the way we when we played the Ravens. I wanted to see what Jaden Daniels looked when he faced a good team. And
Yeah.
to me, Jaden Daniels passed the test against the Ravens. He passed the test. He played good. I didn't have no problem with what Jaden Daniels did. I think our defense let us down because we couldn't stop the run, but he kept us in the game. We only lost by 7. And there was moments where we could have took the lead. It just we couldn't stop them. We couldn't seem to get off the field, and there was a couple of questionable calls that we could have got off the field, and the referee made a call. But I mean, it's not up for the referee to help us win the game. It's on us to win the game. So I ain't got no complaints about the game. I wanted to see what Jaden Daniels looked, but he looked good basically against the Ravens.
That was one of the against one of the best offenses. I mean, they played great. I mean, to keep up with one of the best offenses in the league, they got 3 tight ends that could catch. They got Henry looking like 5 years ago. It was a good test, and I mean, there's so much you can do. And then Caleb Williams, going back to him, I think he has covered every game this year against the spread. So if you bet on the Bears all year, you won.
Really? I didn't know that. I got to look into that.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I'll double check. But I'm pretty sure that he has covered all the games. So for a rookie to do that says a lot.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I'm thankful for Caleb Williams and the Bears, because if you look at our standings and look at week 6, the Bears was the only team that helped me win last week, because I picked the Bears. But I got 2 losses and 1 draw. So thank you, Caleb Williams and the Bears, for not making me go over, as I only got, 1 win, and that was because of them. But side note real quick before we continue, I know I put it up while you guys were talking. The Yankees won. They're 1 game away from the World Series. So congratulations to the Yankees. 1 game away from going to the World Series. And I'm a little bit hyped for my New York Yankees. Sorry, David.
Okay. Yeah. They've never been to a World Series before.
Huh?
Well, I'm still in it. I'm still hanging in there. So
no, you're still in it. And the Dodgers, I think they're gonna have a bullpen game next game. So that's a win. That's a game y'all should win.
I mean, the only way the Mets will win this series was to come back. They weren't gonna just like win 4-1. This is my life. They just put me through trials and tribulations, no matter what, since I was 4. So this is nothing new. I mean, it's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. There's nothing to say. I mean, I like it like this too. Kind of masochist. But congrats to the Yankees on going to their almost their millionth AL pennant.
You sound a little sarcastic there. But I will add this about the Mets. They can, if the Mets go ahead and win this game, which I think they can win this game because it's a bullpen game for the Dodgers. The Dodgers are going to have a lot of pressure on them. Even
That's
though
the game you win.
In LA, Game 7. Game 7, the pressure is all on the Dodgers, and the Dodgers have choked before. They won't be the first time. So
I hate to bring this up, just like in 04. Hate to bring it up, but in 04, that would just win every game, and that was 3-0.
That was 3-0. Thanks for bringing it up, though. Yeah, I know. You
really don't need to bring it up that day. I love it.
I'm sure you did. Jerk.
No.
I mean, that Sock. Now that Sock is not here, because Sock is usually the guy that loves it, and he's a Red Sox fan. I got to deal with you, but that's good.
Yeah, I'm his union replacement with this.
What's good, K Savoy? Thanks for coming through, K Savoy. So let's go over the standings. Last week, 503 Lion and D Free had the best weeks. They both went 3-0-1. There was 1 draw because it was the Commanders +7. So and they lost exactly by 7. So that was the push. They had the best weeks, and they fell into plus money, right? So 503 is less games played, but at the end of the day, it's all about winning 100 or losing 110, right? So 503 is in the standings in the lead as far as record and percentage wise and money. He's up $260. Queen 71, I threw her up in there because she made some picks last week and she did pretty well. She went 2-1-1. D Free had a good week. He's now 10-9 overall, 10-9-1. He's leading, the rest of us that's been doing this every week. He's up $10 whopping, but I'd rather be up $10 than be down $410. As I'm 8-11-1, and then the other guys are as follows. You'll see them on the screen, but Salute to my man Renee, big Mets fan as well. Let's fucking go Mets. Warren, we in there, Game 7.
Yeah, we're going to Game 7 and watch party if they make it. Me, Renee, and Reno.
Oh, that's what's up. Listen, I don't hate the Mets, right?
I don't care if you do or not. I don't care. Just say you hate them. It doesn't make a difference.
I don't. No, listen to me, jerkface. What I'm saying is the Mets. If you're a baseball fan, like I'm a baseball fan, you gotta like what the Mets are doing, right? You gotta appreciate what the Mets have done, and I appreciate what the Mets have done, and I think it's a great story, and I don't mind them winning as long as it's not versus the Yankees. I'll just keep it real, right?
Can I say something?
Go ahead, of course you can.
What you just said sounded like Charlie Brown's teacher to me. I don't give a fuck. Hate my fuck. I don't give. Please hate them. This is why we're in the situation we are.
You know what?
Just hate them,
right.
please.
Worm,
please.
You're right. You know what, Worm,
Please.
Renee, congratulations. Right, that was for you, bro. That was for you. Hey, Renee,
I didn't listen to one word you said.
What you said?
I didn't listen to one word you said about the Mets. I went wah 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 wah. I was like, yeah, I'll bring my towel to school.
But you heard the song though. That's what counts.
Oh yeah, I listened to that. Of course.
Oh my God, it's no comment. There with his. Thanks for coming, Renee. Appreciate you coming through. Oh shit! Look who's here. We got Brett, the Eagles fan, is in here. What's good, Brett?
Finally.
Yo, what up?
Oh, there he goes. There he goes. What's going on?
Brett took a bye week. He took a bye week last week.
I got to get ready for work tomorrow in the morning, so I just came on to do this here real quick.
All right, yeah, we're gonna do our picks. So that's the standings. Brett, you didn't give me your picks last week, but that's fine. It's all about plus and minus anyway. So I just throw that up on the screen for Worm and Renee real quick because they're haters. And
Brett, you're doing better than me. We're not even picking, so don't worry.
But let me go into it. So that's the standings there. Let's go into the picks so we can get this out the way. That's what we're all here for. Week 7, week 6, we talked about a little bit. But here are the lines. I got the lines here. If you need help reading them or seeing them, let me know and I'll read it out to you. Being that of the 4 people that are on here right now, D-Free, you had the best week. I'll let you go first and pick the first game.
I'm going to go with the Bengals -6.
Hold on one second. Which one?
Bengals -6.
Bengals -6 over
the Browns
at Cleveland. Okay.
Yeah.
We got tough on Cleveland last week and they covered.
Okay. I'm gonna go with the team that's been hot, that's been playing well. And I know this other team is going. I'm gonna go next. And I know this team is coming off the bye week, and they played well. They've been playing well, period. And they're at home, but I just don't like. I don't like the bye weeks early in the season. It kind of stops the momentum too. And this team is playing well now. They suffered a big injury. They lost their best defensive player last week in Hutchinson. They're getting 1.5 at Minnesota. I like Detroit to come in and win this game. I'm taking Detroit plus 1.5.
Yeah.
All right. Now go Worm. You could go next. Let me know if you need me to move the lines, to move the games.
What we got on the Philadelphia versus Giants? I think I got it ready, but
it's right here. So Philadelphia is -3.5.
Damn, it went up a half point. Fuck. So I had it at 3 early in the day. I mean, I'll still take it. I mean, Giants are just a bad home team. Just from my theory before, in terms of MetLife, it's not really a home field advantage. And Barkley's going to go off this game. I mean, there's no doubt this guy's having 2 touchdowns. So if you want to put 2+ touchdowns on FanDuel or whatever, do it. I'll put $50 on it. It'll probably win you 175.
Okay.
And second, they lost their second best offensive player last week, Andrew Thomas.
Yeah.
That guy is that guy's been holding Daniel Jones up the whole time like a toy soldier all year. So that's a big play. And then for some reason, the Giants are second to the Seahawks in passing rate. That's just a recipe for disaster. This guy is throwing the second most in the league? That is crazy.
I don't understand.
I mean, and then Tracy's a good running back. And they're getting Singletary back, so they could use a two-headed monster on Sunday. They just throwing too much for this guy, and he hasn't even scored. Well, how many touchdown passes he has this year? 2. So I don't get it. It's just looking bad. I know Barkley's going back to the Meadowlands. He's gonna get the ushers that he used to tip to bring him in the good parking spot. He's feeling good. He's gonna go off. And we talked about it last week in terms of the Philly, their second half culmination or their after the bye culmination. They're gonna make a run here. And Sirianni's chirping at the fans, his own fans. They're hot-headed right now, and they're ready to win this game. They'll probably win by 10.
Okay.
21 to 10 game, 24 to 10. I don't think the Giants score more than 14, if that. So I got the Eagles 3.5.
Okay, and that leads us to Brett, who is an Eagles fan. Anything you want to add to that, Brett?
I hope he's right. I hope he gets good vibes. I like the pick, but I'm not picking that game. I'm gonna take the Bills minus 9.5 at home against the Titans. I think they blow them out.
9.5 Bills. That's a good pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a Bills game that they don't put their foot off the pedal. You know how they usually do. They'll just keep trying to score.
Yeah.
To like.
Will Levis has got a banged up shoulder. He sucks even if he's healthy. I think it's gonna be like a 31-10, 38.
And they probably pull him.
I think it's gonna be a blowout city. So give me the Bills.
Got one running back, Pollard, Spears is out, and they may just pull him for Rudolph. And the rest of the year, you may just see Rudolph.
Yeah. Okay. So give me Buffalo with the points.
Okay, and real quick, case of voice, Malik Neighbors, I guess he's back this week for the Giants. That doesn't mean anything for you, Worm?
So he's gonna throw even more.
Yeah, so
that's the whole fucking point. Yeah, that's even worse. Yeah, throw more. Okay, Daniel Jones throw more. Yeah, okay. Even better.
So Brett, we'll stay with you. We'll do it like a snake draft. So Brett, you could pick your second pick as well.
Okay. What are I can't see the other games. The next sheet.
I'll go to the next sheet. This is hold on, did it go through? Next sheet, you got Carolina, Washington. These are the afternoon games. There's 2 Monday night games again this week, which is weird. I don't know why they keep doing it.
Go back to the other sheet before that. Yeah, that one, right?
Page?
No, it's the second page. All right. I want to take the Falcons at home -3. I think right now they're playing a lot better than Seattle. They're at home. Seattle's struggling. Seattle can't stop running water, so give me the Falcons.
Yeah. One thing about that game, I was trying to pick Seattle, but all the metrics I was looking at is just against them. Everything.
The only thing about Seattle in this game is that they usually play well when they come to the East Coast playing 1 o'clock games.
That's a great point. Yeah,
that's the only thing.
Yeah.
Other than that, you know,
that was one metric I didn't see.
I don't see anything else.
No, and you've told me that plenty of times, but I looked at all other metrics: red zone efficiency, losing a game by certain points. The next game, it's just nothing came up, and I'm like, and I want to pick them for you, Tommy. You know, for some reason, it's became my second team since I've been on this podcast. But they're just not. I don't see it. I don't see it, man. But maybe they may win then. Maybe those are the ones that they win. I
would hope so. Was good.
Your matrix with the 1 o'clock going to the 1 o'clock games, it works. It actually works for them.
He says Cousins playing good right now. Worm, you're up next. It's now on you. What's good, Act? Hope all is well. Salute to you, bro. Thanks for coming through.
I love this pick. I love where's Sock?
Sock, I don't know. He said he was on his way home. I'm not sure, so I'm waiting for him. But
well, you know what I'm about to pick when I say that. I love the Raiders here. There's something about the Raiders when they get beat up badly in this turmoil. There's something about them the next week that I love. I mean, not for nothing. Believe it or not, Raiders one of the best teams in the red zone when they get there. So and then a banged up Rams club. Rams shouldn't be a 7-point favorite.
Yeah.
and especially in that stadium.
And it's probably going to be a lot of Raider fans in that stadium too.
Yeah, I was going to say they're all coming down to see their ex-girlfriend. So that is going to be a Raider crowd.
So you taking the Raiders +7?
Yeah, I'm taking the Raiders at home. Yeah. They should. And then I did a calculation too. I had to say good night to my wife. I did a calculation too. The spread should actually be -5 for the Rams. So I think that I'm getting 2 points in this game. It shouldn't be what was it on DraftKings?
It's -7.
Yeah. My calculation came out to -5. Wow. So I don't see why they're -7. And Cooper Kupp coming back, he's going to be a decoy. That guy's like, what is he going to do? He's not going to do anything if he plays. I guess they're thinking that he is coming back. There has to be the 2-point swing there.
Yeah, I will go with my next pick. I'm next. I see an obvious pick, but I'm going to wait and probably take that as my third or fourth pick. But let me go into a different game, and before D Free takes it, but I love the Commanders in this game at home. I love the Commanders -9.5 against Carolina. I think the Commanders win big here. I can see the Commanders winning by 17. I like Commanders -9.5.
Carolina hasn't covered the spread. They haven't covered the spread in 3 games. I mean, they're due to cover a spread here. Carolina. This could be a backdoor bullshit one too, man. It's very scary. And there's one thing I noticed with Jalen Daniels, he hasn't done yet as a scrambler. He hasn't fumbled behind the line of scrimmage. That's due to happen.
That's a jinx if I ever heard one. That's
no,
not watching fumble twice.
No, but behind the line of scrimmage type, hit him, about to throw. He hasn't. That hasn't happened. It's gonna happen. And you know what? I talked about the Christmas gifts last week with Jalen Daniels. Something's about to hit the fan with this team. That everybody's enamored. It's not gonna happen all year. I just don't see it. It's gonna stop at one point. This rose petal glasses on the Commanders. It's gonna happen at one point. I don't know. That's the way I feel. Nobody's perfect through the whole year. He's top 5 in MVP to win the MVP now.
Yeah, it's still early though, but that's.
It's not that early anymore. We're in week 7. It's not that early anymore.
Yeah, I mean,
people think it's early. We think it's early because we haven't eaten turkey yet, but it's not that early anymore.
Anything before 8 or 9 games is early for me. So, some teams haven't even played division games yet.
True, but they do that now anyway. Yeah. That's how they do the schedule.
Kate's boy said the Niners are going to be out the 2 best receiver. Which 2 is Debo got hurt again? Because Debo's always getting hurt.
No, they're not hurt. They're playing.
He said that they're out their 2 best receivers. I didn't hear.
No, they're not. They're not out. Even again, the guy that got shot for his Rolex, he's coming back this week. Pearsall.
Yeah.
No, they good.
D Free, you're up next.
I heard everything Worm said, and I disagree with everything he said.
Surprise!
If you follow Jaden Daniels don't give up the ball a lot at all in his career. He doesn't give up the ball. Period.
His career is only 7 weeks, bro.
I'm talking about his football career. I ain't talking about.
I don't care about his football career. Getting transferred. I'm talking about NFL.
You had your moment.
Sorry.
Like I said, Jaden Daniels don't give up the ball like that. Period. So I'm right there with you. I got Washington. I think Washington is going to smash the Panthers. I think the Panthers in a bad spot. We lost that game, and I think Jaden Daniels is going to take it out on the Panthers. I could see Jaden Daniels throwing for 3 touchdowns for the first time in his career in this game. I think we win probably by 14 or 17 points. So I'm taking the Commanders in this one, -9.5.
Okay. Give us one more pick because you're up next, and then Sock just came on, and we'll talk to Sock as soon as you make your next pick. So everybody got 2 picks to be your third pick.
Go to the next slide.
That's the Monday night games. There's 2 Monday night games, which is ridiculous.
Go back.
I hate that. I hate that shit.
And then there's one more slide after them.
Yeah, give me the Eagles minus 3.5.
Wow, another Eagle. Okay.
I think the Eagles they had a bye week. I don't like the way the Giants has been playing. Their defense is pretty good, but I still think the Eagles are going to beat them by at least 7. I think they're going to beat them by at least 7.
Okay. Welcome, Sock. Thanks for coming through. Appreciate you. What's going on, bro?
I wish I would have a bigger smile on my face if the Yankees would have lost this game, tonight. But unfortunately,
I already represented for us, so don't worry.
For the crack committee.
Yeah. Well, me and you.
You notice I had to put that up for him too, right?
It's all right. Listen, you're supposed to win when you have, like 3 times the payroll, right? Of the
come on, stop it already, man.
I'm just saying, like,
this is every year the same thing you say.
Not really, not every year. But
come on.
I can only remember the most recent one, and fucking Class A, what a piece of shit.
He
Can't
sucks.
trust a nigga with 2 earrings.
He sucks.
Can't trust anyone with 2 earrings and colorful braids. So
yo, you said Class A was elite. Now he sucks.
Oh,
it's true.
Who said that? Who said that?
Doc said that. He said he's elite. Now he's a bum because he blew 2 saves. How about you giving credit and say we own that ass?
You know what?
Oh, boss.
I got to salute. I mean, listen, I guess it's a lot harder to get saves against the Yankees than it is against the White Sox, right? In July.
You're always discrediting, bro. Always.
Yo, but the Yankees suck, so getting a save against the Yankees.
Why would we credit? We don't want to credit you guys. You guys don't even credit yourselves half the year. So why would we credit a franchise?
There you go.
Yeah.
Right?
So you guys you bash your team when you're 20 games over 500. So why should we credit you when shit hits the fan? You guys are just there's something wrong with you guys. They should put you all in an asylum.
Worm, let me guess. You a Mets fan, right?
Yeah, you see the hat?
Yeah, you know what's funny? I've been rooting for you guys, Worm. So chill out with the bashing of the Yankees, right?
So you hear what I told Thomas before when he said that?
Yeah.
What?
You sound like Charlie Brown's teacher. I don't care if you vote for my team. Don't vote for them, please. Just don't.
You know what?
You guys.
You know what? Now I'm rooting for the Dodgers. Let's go Dodgers.
Thank you, Papo. Thank you.
Brett, this is what I played for Worm because I was congratulating him on the Mets having a great season.
That actually looks like my uncle, yo.
So, Sock, Sock, you got to make a couple picks here. So let me know when you're ready. I got the standings up. You had a bad week last week. You were 1-3 last week, and overall you're 10-10. That's good enough for a negative 100 if you was betting with real money.
Damn.
Time to get on the good foot, like James Brown said. Give me the first game in the league when you play for pay. I like the Cincinnati Bengals to whip up on the Cleveland Browns.
Oh, I wish my guy BBO was here to talk to you.
Oh, he's not here today. He's not here today.
I don't know what BBO went. He's talking about the Browns are going to win.
He went to Queens, I think, this week.
He fell asleep.
Can you tap him on the shoulder?
No, he went to Queens after I told him what was down here.
Oh.
Tay, what's good, Tay? Thanks for coming through. Salute to you. So that's your first pick. You like the Bengals -6, right? That's what it is, -6.
Yeah,
Bengals
out the gate.
And what's your second play?
Second play.
If you want me to move the slide, let me know.
It's a weird week, short week, a lot of buys. Give me the Bills. 8.5. It's still a lot, but at home, Tennessee is really not that good. I think
it's 9.5 here.
How much?
9.5.
Okay, give it to me. Pause.
Hey yo, whoa!
Oh man,
You gotta take it easy there.
Give me the Bills.
The Bills seem
I like
like
that
the logical pick here because that's going to be one of my plays too. I love the Bills at home. 9.5.
There's one thing I'm not sure about too. I've been looking. Is Cooper playing with them this week?
I think he is.
Amar. Oh, that's a big.
I'm
That's
almost
big.
positive he is. I have him in fantasy, so I saw projections for him. So I guess he is playing.
No, that's a big. That's big. That's what he needed.
Yeah.
That's what Allen needed. He needed somebody that could catch possession wise.
He's a moody guy. If he wants to play, he could be elite, but he's kind of like a recluse. Like I think Allen. I don't. If Allen is forcing stuff, that could be a problem.
I think he meshes with Allen well actually because he's like an anti-Diggs. You know what I'm saying? So he's not gonna bitch about not getting the ball. The thing about Cooper that changed him was when Pac-Man Jones smashed the helmet on his face on the sideline. Ever since then, Cooper's been different. Remember that, Stock?
I do remember that. I forgot what jersey he had on that day.
That shit got me mad. Me and Reno were pissed. Like smashed him with his own helmet. How you smash that thing with his own helmet on the sideline? That's Pac-Man Jones for you. Should be in the Hall of Fame.
And let's see. So you got the Bills 9. I took the Bills also at -9.5, which scares me because that's the third person to take the Bills. So far, Sock, Brett, and myself have got the Bills. So now I'm feeling a little worried about that pick, but nevertheless, we'll move on.
Can I say one thing, Thomas? Too? Can I say one thing? Oh, I want to say anything. Team, when there's 3 people that pick from us in the last 3 weeks, we're 9-0.
Really?
So when 3 people pick, yes.
Dead ass?
Dead ass.
Wow. Okay.
Nice. Detroit.
Yep, everybody hit Detroit last week.
Yeah, I'll send it to you tomorrow. I wrote it down somewhere. It's in my fucking job. But yeah, that's like a gold medal pick when there's 3. So anyway, all right. So how many picks?
I post all the picks on the community page. So I can
where is that? Send me that link. I didn't even know what that is. I went to fucking.
If you go to the YouTube channel and just like if you go to my channel, like and then you see like live video shorts, there's community or say posts. You hit that and you scroll down and you'll see like.
Last time I tried to do it, send me to Cialis page. So how many picks did I have already?
Well played. Worm, you're up. Your pick.
How many picks I had already?
You have 2 picks, so this should be a third.
So I like I love the Lions too here. I love the Lions -1.5. I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but
they're getting +1. They're getting points.
They're getting points. Oh, my bad. I looked at the Minnesota. Getting plus. Yeah. Call me wrong, but the Jets actually exposed the Vikings in that game. Not for nothing, even though we lost. And I think Campbell is the type of guy to rally his troops after Hutchinson lost. I think that's a big thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, once they lost Hutchinson, you saw how the team came together, how everybody was, bonded. And I think Campbell is that type. He's like a Tomlin, my second favorite coach here, now and then. He's a motivator, and I think he's going to rally his troops for that game. And Aaron Jones is banged up. He's going to try to play. He ain't going to be shit. So they're one-dimensional in this game. I love the Lions here. And Lions are my indoor team. They're the indoor boys. I love Lions.
You mentioned that before the season started. That you did mention that.
Only one game outside.
3 games outside this year.
Yeah, so, 2 or 1 or 2.
I think it's like 3. I think they played San Francisco. I think that was the other third one.
Oh yeah, you're right. And then the Lions, even out with Hutchinson, their top sack potential is the number 1 in the league. Their sack potential. It's not just one guy that makes sack potential. Even the guy leaves, it doesn't mean that the team is done. They still
but sometimes, that guy draws the double team sometimes. So giving other guys the opportunity to make plays. So it is a big loss.
Yeah,
Brett.
Let me get the Packers game. I think they were -2.5.
Where are the Packers?
At home in Lambeau.
This must be the first slide, right?
You just went past and go back 1.
I did. Oh, here you go against the Texans.
Yeah, give me the Packers. I like the Packers at home. They playing well. Jordan Love is looking good, and I like Jordan Love better than C.J. Stroud. If the game was on in Houston, I would take Houston.
I wish 503 was here, but 503 is he keeps it real about his team. So this would have been interesting to hear what he had to say about them because Houston's they're a little banged up and their offense hasn't really been clicking like that.
They don't have Nico.
Your boy Brett from Michigan, he's out.
Yeah, they haven't been and their defense it hasn't been as good as it was last year.
Yeah.
And Green Bay's defense has been low key
taking over
good.
Turnovers.
Yeah, this guy McKinnon has like 4 or 5 picks. They're opportunistic. Yeah. They get a lot of turnovers. They get pressure, and they score. And you know what? You're gonna have to score against Houston.
And the thing is, too, Brett, good point. The thing when your defense is turning over and your defense could turn over, that's why Love makes those throws on his back foot. Because he's like, you know what? Let me take a chance here. Because I know my defense can get me the ball back. When your quarterback knows that your defense could turn the ball over, you do these little risky plays. And then when you're successful on those risky plays, you hit them in the heart.
Yeah, he throws off the back foot a lot, but I mean, I think he's been playing well. They got a good mix of wide receivers. This guy Josh Jacobs has kind of been mediocre, but he's good enough to get short yardage.
He'll get it. He get it, and they're resting his legs too. You can't just run the guy through the muck. These coaches think that. That's what a lot of people say. Oh, just keep running them. Keep running them. You keep running somebody, you're done by week 12. Just like Breece Hall and Walker we talked about. Sometimes you can't just run the guys all the time. This is a tough league, man. These guys been running since Pee Wee League. You got to save these legs, especially in the NFL.
Yeah, so give me the Packers with the points.
Okay, so you got the Packers. So I gave you the Packers with that. Sock, you're up next.
Well, I think if this game was played on a neutral field, I would take the Texans against the Packers. Just to have some fun, I'm gonna go against Brett. Give me the Texans. I think that the loss of Nico Collins is a huge loss, but I think that Diggs is having a bounce back year, and I like Stroud over Love. I'm not sold on Love 100%. I can see a big game from Stroud on the road. Give me Houston.
So Sox takes Houston
road
plus 2.5.
This is a 50-50 game, man. This game is really 50-50, man. It is.
Yeah, road dog.
I can see Stroud running it in and jumping in the Lambeau League.
Okay, and Sock, you since we're in the snake draft, so you go again. Give me your fourth and final pick.
Fourth and final pick. Well, since I'm going against one of my least best friends, Brett, I got to go against my best friend.
Jesus Christ!
Although I know Brett since he was in Pee Wee, Little League. Give me the Falcons over the Seahawks because that West Coast team traveling to that 1:00 game. That's a bad look.
No,
that's a bad look.
That's the only thing they got. Tommy brought it up.
Yeah,
before
they just it's just a bad matchup for them. I
mean, but that's under Pete Carroll. Remember that.
This guy is good though.
That's true too.
No, he's good. I'm not saying he's not good. I'm just saying that was under Pete Carroll, so you can't.
Yeah, but they've done it this year too. They've done it this year too, though. They have done it this year too, no?
Against who?
No, they haven't.
They've done it.
They have. They've on. So they
have
first
one
3 games.
game.
Oh, against New England.
Yeah,
New England stinks, and imagine it was an overtime game.
Now,
damn, you're right.
It's a pretty even game. But give
me
the
that was good, Brett.
QB at home.
What's up?
Yeah, every metrics, the stock before you came on, every metrics was against Seattle that I looked up. And then Tommy said the thing about traveling the East Coast, and then Brett really put it forward right there, saying that it was Pete Carroll. Yeah.
Give me the team with the better QB at home. And I got to go with Atlanta. Now, I think this game could be a one-possession game, and that's all I need to win. So give me the Falcons.
Oh, so you're switching, so you want ATL.
No, he picked ATL first.
I picked ATL from the jump.
Oh, you said he was going to go. You said he was going to go against Brett.
Right.
No,
against Brett with the Texans, and I'm going against you.
Okay, thanks.
Oh, okay.
Give you
so
that.
He's going against you.
Give you that Shawn
What a friend. What a friend, right?
I took Atlanta too.
Okay. All right. So right.
Yeah, you guys got to go.
Barbershop window, Tom.
Hey, I hope, but they just not. The way Geno's played the last couple of weeks, missing throws. I mean, the receivers are open, and he's seeing it, but he's making bad throws. It's just.
And they lead the league in fumbles.
Yeah.
Has anyone picked,
Thanks, Metcalf.
Has anyone picked the San Francisco KC game, which is obviously the marquee game of the week?
Why would you pick a game? Let me tell you something. I'm not. My last pick is not that game, but why would you pick a game when you know the refs are gonna go? I love Mahomes. He's the greatest of all time. They're gonna fucking. Why would you pick a game that you don't know in the last second where it's gonna go? If something happens risky at the last second, why would you pick that game?
But the game's at Santa Clara.
It don't matter. He's 18-5 on the road as an underdog in his career. Why would you pick that game? There's no point of picking it when you don't. When I'm not saying the NFL is rigged. I'm not saying that by any means. But he has the power to change a game just doing a play, Mahomes. That's risky to put your money in a game like that. Very risky, unless it's a Super Bowl.
And one of the rare times you're gonna get him as an underdog.
Yeah, but he's 18-5 anyway. On the road as an underdog. So why would you even risk playing that game?
I actually like the Chiefs in that game. I was thinking about taking the Chiefs in that game.
Of course, why not? If you're gonna pick, you're gonna pick the Chiefs side.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
I'm always against San Francisco.
Tom is not picking the Niners, so
never.
Yeah, but that's his problem, though. Yeah, but Tom, you can't do that all the time. You can't just
But obviously, I was thinking about it, and I haven't gone yet. But I'm not saying that I would. But I like the Chiefs just because of their defense, and I just think the Niners stink. I really do. I think
and the refs too. You like the Chiefs,
and the refs help out the Chiefs all the time. But I just think the Niners, the Seattle game. Seattle had opportunities in that game. Their secondary is bad. Like the San Francisco secondary is terrible. And they didn't even put no pressure on Geno. Geno had time. Geno only got sacked like one time, and it was in the fourth quarter.
Mahomes is not going to win the game throwing a bomb to Worthy. He's going to win the game throwing these little slants, and they're going to call defensive holding. This is a game you don't bet as a smart man. Unless you're down all Sunday, and that 425 comes up, you're like, yo, let me just take the Chiefs. You don't bet this type of game. A sharp, wise guy doesn't bet this game. Unless you're going for the Chiefs. Just go for the Chiefs. There's no ends or buts. Yeah. And that's a sad thing. That's a sad thing, though. They shouldn't be like that. And we should have paid attention to that with the Patriots back in the day. We should have just been putting money on the Patriots for fucking 20 years. We would have had the house, like I said, in Yonkers already.
Brett, you're up next.
Okay, this is my last pick, right?
Yes, sir.
So that's what's coming. Go to the next page prior. No, I'm sorry, the previous. Previous. You know what? What's the line of the Jets? Pittsburgh. Did they confirm Wilson is starting, or they haven't?
As far as I've been reading, it's been Wilson.
No, it's Pickens. Pickens blew it up in the interview today. He said, "I had mad reps with Wilson, and because he's starting, he blew it up." It was on social media.
So Wilson's starting. So you know what?
I would say 85% he's starting.
Oh shit! The Jets are laying 1.5. I thought they were getting it. Damn, that scares me. The road team is the favorite.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, you know what? Let me go to the preview. I'm gonna stay away from that. I thought the Jets were underdog. I was gonna take the Jets.
Good.
He's like, good. Keep going. You know what?
So
I'm gonna go.
you know what you do when I'm here? Don't talk about my teams. That's a rule.
You know what?
Wow.
Since you guys are sucking the Lions, I'm gonna go against you, and I'm gonna take Minnesota because Justin Jefferson's gonna go off this game.
Mm.
And,
Brett, great pick.
no Aiden Hutchinson. And guess what? This guy Flores loves to blitz, and Goff sucks against the blitz.
Mm.
And Flores, that's what Flores does is blitz.
Flores getting a job next year.
So give me Minnesota laying the 1.5.
Good
I love
pick.
it. Brett is good, man. Brett, man, we miss you, man.
Brett's a busy man, just like Sock. Sock and Brett, the most
Brett,
busiest guys I know.
Do you see the Michigan uniforms for tomorrow?
Nah, I didn't see it.
Those shits are crazy. Google it. You'll see.
Michigan pissed me off against Washington 2 weeks ago, so you know.
Yeah, but you still gotta go with your blue.
They got no fucking quarterback.
Yeah, but they run the ball.
Yeah, but you gotta pass the ball once in a while too, bro. You can't just fucking run the ball and expect to win every game like that.
Yeah, but they thought they're gonna have hardball for 10 years, but when you fuck up and start cheating, you shit fucks up your recruiting. That's your problem.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, exactly. I just told you. You know what it is. Don't act dumb to me like, oh yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, that's what it is. They thought he gonna be there like fucking like this thing. Who's the nigga? Bo Schembechler. You thought he was gonna be there for 40 years, bro? He cheated and bounced, just like Pete Carroll did.
He cheated and bounced.
Yeah, and Pete Carroll needs to come back and cheat and go back to the Seahawks. That's what.
He's worse than Gio when it comes to hate. That's great.
Yo, man, don't you wish Notre Dame's fucking head coach would cheat? Maybe you guys will win.
Nigga, we're still making the playoffs. We're still gonna make it.
Notre Dame.
That's your whole thing. Is not for us to make it. That's all you guys pay attention to. Anyway,
the schedule is Notre Dame has an easy schedule. I mean, unless they lose to like Florida State.
I've been hearing that for my whole life. Don't come with this easy schedule. Oh, but you're Notre Dame too.
Or Navy.
Yeah, but
Notre Dame should be favorite. Notre Dame is probably favored on
Notre Dame stinks.
Yeah, you stink. How about that?
You stink. You're a bunch of cheaters. Bunch of cheaters. That's why your man left. He had he almost had a heart attack on the sideline for the Chargers last week because he's thinking about Michigan. You saw that shit? Did you see that guy? You peeped that, right?
Yeah. They did. He had to walk off.
Yeah. Guess what? My man got a ring though. Guess what? He got a ring.
Yeah, they sent him a cease and desist.
All right, he got the ring. Like my man Biggs Mike's. Yes, buddies. He got his ring.
Yeah. Enjoy it when they ban it for 10 years.
Yeah, okay.
Yo, Worm, you're up next with your next pick, your last pick.
My favorite team of all time I'm going to pick right now, the Jets. What is it, -1 now? +1?
They're favorite, 1.5.
Yeah, the Jets have to win this game. I mean, why not take them at this moment? This is end-all, be-all. This is a lock of the year. It's the Jets hit.
Circle the wagons.
Oh my God!
Circle the wagons. I'm a sick individual, and then Tomlin doing this back and forth thing is so out of character of the QB. It's so out of character for him. You telling me that wasn't a distraction in the locker room this week? That's big time distraction. I don't know what Tomlin's trying to do here. I think Rooney is trying to like tell him to play Russell because they paid a lot. This is not a Tomlin game. You know my whole basis on Tomlin games, but the Jets must win. You just got one of the best wide receivers of all time. You know Rodgers is happy. He took some ayahuasca a little bit today with him. We're good.
Wow,
how can you not like the Jets? This is
you would take your own team. I would never thought you would have done that. What's good,
I
Andrew?
have to take him here. I have to take him here.
All right, Jets -1.5. I'm surprised that they're favorite too, even with the quarterback change and.
I think the distraction with the quarterback. No, I think because people don't know in the public who's going to be the quarterback, so I think that makes them the favorite. I think that's what it is. Because Tomlin's saying this is going to be a game time decision. So, like, why would you bet on the Steelers if you don't know who's quarterbacking? And that shit may go up 2.5 if they announce Russell. on Sunday morning at 9:25.
It is. Russell's never lost to the Jets, right? I don't think
You would know that more than me.
Yeah, well, with Seattle, he's never lost to the Jets. I know that.
So yeah, that's the one and only one.
Played last year.
So
no, we beat Russell and we beat Russell and Broncos last year.
Yeah, so that's it. If you beat the Broncos last year, so then okay. All right, I got my next pick. I'm shocked that you picked the Jets. Honestly, I'm really shocked.
Yeah, I'm more shocked than you.
I'm gonna take a pick here that's probably gonna go against the grain, but I like this team at home, and I know Baltimore's been rolling a little bit of late, but I still don't like the way Baltimore's defense. Their secondary has been pretty shaky, so I'm gonna take the points here. I'm gonna take Tampa Bay plus 3.5.
I love it. I love the upset too.
To win outright, yeah, at home. I mean, that's
Yeah, Baker's a dog.
Yeah,
Gronkowski was on Edelman's podcast this week, and he said that guy right there, the way he goes in the huddle, he's not like a quarterback. He looks like a linebacker. The way he talks, like a linebacker.
But who Vegas is throwing the ball to? Brock Bowers. That's it.
Yeah, no, we're talking about
we're talking about Tampa Bay against the Ravens.
Oh, I thought you were talking. I'm sorry, I thought you were talking about the Raiders.
Yeah, I like Tampa Bay. They're getting 3.5 at home versus Baltimore. I know Baltimore's played better, right? They've won 3 in a row.
So, yeah, and they're due to have a stinker.
Yeah, so I mean, and it's in Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's played well. I mean, I like Tampa Bay getting points here. I mean, they could still lose by a field goal, but I'll take the points. I like this game at home Monday night.
Let me give you a stat real quick. You know, Lamar Jackson is like 20-1 against the NFC, right?
NFC. Yeah, I said that 3 weeks ago.
The only team he lost to in the NFC was the Giants like 2 years ago.
The last one you would think of.
That's quite.
I'm still going to stick with my pick, but that's a good stat to know. Wow, I did not know that. It's good to know. That's why we do this. That's why we have this podcast, to let the people
Brett,
know what's
I like
going
that,
on,
Brett, man. Brett researched. It took him 3 weeks to get here. He researched that one stat.
D-Free, what's good, D-Free? You're up in your fourth and final pick.
It's a Michigan guy for you.
My fourth and final pick, I'm going to go with Buffalo Bills. I do not like Tennessee squad at all. They can't produce no points whatsoever. I'm going to go with Buffalo.
Buffalo minus 9.5. I believe that's the third person to take them, right? No.
Third person, right? Yeah, so that's a lot. That's a lot.
1, 2.
Oh, that's a lot.
Defense is pretty good, but they only can hold up for so long, and their offense is not producing no points. That defense is going to get wore out, and at some point it's going to be a free fall for Josh Allen and his new toy that he got over there as a wide receiver.
And you know what's funny about the Tennessee defense? That's just a remnant of Vrabel last year. It's not like the coach that came in is teaching that defense. They're just learning from what they learned from Vrabel last year. And
right,
they're on the coattails of that, and that's going to wear out sooner or later. And I hope the Jets actually hire him, Mike Vrabel.
Okay,
that's a great pick.
So let me take this off the screen real quick. I guess we got our picks. I'll try to get 503's picks, and I'll post them on the board. But let me go over. So the consensus is we have 4 people taking Buffalo minus 9.5, and we have Detroit being taken by how many people took Detroit? 2 people took Detroit, plus 2.5, plus 1.5. And any other teams that everybody kind of jumped on? Let's see. No, a couple people took Atlanta minus 3. And who's the other one? There's another team that was picked a couple of times as well.
Me and you both picked Washington.
And we both get 2 people took Atlanta. So I took 2 big spreads.
And people took the Eagles over the Giants.
Yeah,
that's right.
Oh yeah,
Eagles.
Yeah. Brad will remember that. He will remember that.
But I didn't take the Eagles. You guys did.
No, I'm just saying you would remember that.
I can see. The Eagles are a funny team though. Sometimes I can see the Eagles winning, and there'll be like a backdoor cover, and they'll just like win by 3.
No, Eagles are gonna make a run, man. The Eagles are a great team, man. I don't know what this whole. I don't know. I feel more confident than Sirianni. I guess I don't know what it is because I think they're a great team. I don't get it.
They
I
have
don't
great
get the whole.
personnel. They have a great
Yeah, but
roster.
Sirianni is becoming a character, screaming at his own fans too. That was like very unprofessional. I thought that was very
Great
unprofessional.
roster. I mean,
Brett, don't you have like
if
a
we win the
love-hate
park,
relationship with Sirianni?
listen, if we win the park and we're choosing up teams,
We're picking half the Eagle
Giants?
guys.
Who on the Giants are you taking first?
Maybe
Neighbors
Neighbors.
isn't playing, right?
Neighbors is
Yeah,
playing.
Neighbors. That's it.
But I'm still not taking him over AJ Brown or
No.
That's true. Yeah.
I'll take him over Devontae Adams.
So no, I'm talking about in this game. Like
No, I mean Devontae Smith. I'm talking about Devontae Smith. I meant Devontae Smith. I'll take Neighbors. Yeah,
You taking Neighbors over Smith?
Yeah, Neighbors is a star, man.
Yeah, I take Neighbors over Smith as well. I take Neighbors over
he's
Smith.
amazing. Any LSU guy that's
you guys
LSU,
you guys both must be smoking the same pack of K2.
Come on, man. Come on, bro. Are you serious, bro?
I'll tell you why I take Neighbors over Smith. Because Neighbors has the speed that Smith has, but he's also bigger than Smith.
Bigger, yes.
But he doesn't run better routes and he doesn't have better hands.
My man, we're not in Alabama anymore, bro. Your man is he's me running routes, bro, catching the ball. You want Worm catching the ball for you? This nigga Neighbors is a beast. And he took a concussion.
Yo, dude, all he does is just catch the ball and score touchdowns.
He catches the ball.
Want to do?
Brett, who does he catch the ball from? Who's his quarterback? Who's his quarterback on the Giants? Neighbors.
It's Jones.
The worst quarterback of all time. He's catching, making this guy look good. You crazy, bro. That Neighbors is the reason why Jones has the highest passing rate is because Neighbors came in. Neighbors is LSU wide receivers are elite. It's rare that they're bums.
They're better than Bama They're better than Bama wide receivers.
Hell, LSU. Hell,
yeah.
You want? We could talk about this all.
We got Amari Cooper.
LSU wide receivers are better than Bama.
Jamal Chase, T. Higgins.
T. Higgins didn't go to LSU. T. Higgins went to
Odell Beckham.
Odell Beckham is washed up, bro. Stop it.
No, but when he was good. No, we're talking about when he was good.
Okay, Julio
Jefferson. Jefferson went to LSU too, right?
Yeah. Julio Jones is a Hall of Famer.
He is. I love Julio Jones.
Not playing
but
now.
He's not playing now.
Beckham is not playing now. He's on a roster. He don't get no burn.
Yeah,
he wasn't good at when he was his rookie year, 2 years when he came in. He was amazing.
He was at Odell Beckham's best. He was never better than Julio Jones.
I'll put the chart next week. Alabama receivers are not better than LSU receivers, Papo. Sorry to tell you, man. You'll be disappointed.
I would agree there. If I could break protocol a little bit, Tom, I would say bet the over on that Packers-Texans game. I think that's
what's the over-under? What is it? We need to start doing that too. Sock, good point. We need to start doing that too.
As a wild card bet?
We could do that as like a fifth pick. We could do an over.
Yeah,
wild card bet.
Yeah, I mean,
they're just as even as the spread. Those picks.
No, that's true.
We should do that.
So you think this is a high scoring game? Houston at Green Bay, 48.5.
What is it?
That's high scoring. That's 49 points.
That's gonna go under. Watch, that's a crack.
I don't like it.
That's a crack. That is right. You're right. It is a crack.
I disagree.
No, Brett is right. Brett is right. That's a crack. There's a crack in your head.
I'm going to go against the grain. I think that's going to be at 3:30. Look at your watch at 3:30, and then look at your watch again at like 3:55. There's going to be like 2 lead changes.
So you saying that game's going to be like 28-27?
Right. I think whoever has the ball last.
You know the only thing I say about that
might go over as well.
But you don't want to say what soccer.
Yeah, go ahead, Dorm.
No, the only thing I say about what soccer is right, that those teams could do turnovers. Like the way that Jordan Love throws the ball, it could create turnovers. When you create turnovers, that makes it over. Because the over The bookies put the over, not baking in the turnover aspect. So people forget that. The bookies just put the over as a straight game. So once there's like 2 overs or a return punt or a touchdown, the over is enhanced. If you guys know what I mean. You understand?
I understand.
But you also gotta look at CJ Stroud's road splits. He hasn't been good on the road this year.
So that could be turned to turnovers. They could be susceptible to turnovers.
It's too early in the year also to account for weather. Now, if this was like maybe late November, I'm leaning towards.
Nah, if that shit was in Houston, that shit's gonna be in the 30s because it's 72 degrees, no wind.
75.
If you were drafting a team, who would you take, Stroud or Love?
Stroud.
I don't know. I think Love is better right now.
No, Stroud is more.
You don't respect Love, bro. Look at Love's numbers.
Where did Love play college?
Utah State.
Where did Stroud play college?
Ohio State.
That's why you're a hater. And
no,
two,
that's not true.
And two.
No, it's not. I don't care about that.
You don't care about that. Get out of here. You don't care about that. Get out of here. You don't care. Oh, all of a sudden you don't care about Ohio State.
My man, when they play in the NFL, I could give 3 fucks about that.
No, my man played in the U in the horseshoe. That guy has ability. And where's my man that's not here, the Houston guy?
You know what's funny? He played in the horseshoe and he never beat Michigan one time. So he's irrelevant.
That's what you live by with everybody. They never beat Michigan every time. This guy's been successful. They never beat Michigan. It don't matter. There's mad players that have never beat Michigan that are mad successful. So don't come with that.
He's not. I didn't say he was not good. I said I would take Love over Stroud.
Can I tell you something? College football is not all about Michigan. Okay, can I tell you something? There's 150 fucking teams.
It's close though. It's hard to rate because listen, if you'd have told me pick them before they played a pro game, I would have took Love easy, right? Because
I would have. Hell no, I would have took Stroud.
But listen, let me finish. The consensus was, and until Stroud for a while, is that guys that the quarterbacks that come out of Ohio State, they shit the bed in the pros. So I would have leaned towards Love. Right, but now Stroud has looked good, but he hasn't looked great this year yet. And I'll say it again. I know you don't like me saying this, but it's still kind of early in the season. Let them progress. So it's a tough choice. I think it's a preference. I think it's hard to rate. Who's better right now. So
can I say something about? Let me talk. Let me talk.
It's fair.
Let me talk.
Go ahead.
You say Daniel Jones, right? Was picked higher than Haskins, right?
Was he? Yeah.
He died, right? Okay. Troy Smith, in this era, had to get a 10-time better chance to be a successful quarterback. Troy Smith, right? What are the quarterbacks we're talking about for Ohio State? What are the good quarterbacks? Fields is still in the league. He should start next week.
Yeah, but Fields, he's not great. He's been
He's not great. They're 4-2. They're 4-2, Papo.
Yeah, but not because
they're 4-2.
Average at best right now.
So what Michigan quarterback is great since Tom Brady?
Well, we're not talking about Michigan versus Ohio State.
Talking about Michigan.
I never mentioned Michigan. You mentioned Michigan.
No, now you don't want to mention them now. All right, whatever. We'll discuss this another day. I don't want to talk about this.
Let me ask you a question. Who has the better roster offensively, Love or the Texans or Stroud?
Right now, Love has it. No, Love has it right now, today.
Love has better wide receivers than the Texans?
Yeah. Jalen Reed, Dobbs, and Wicks, and this guy Watson killed it last week. Yeah, he got some weapons.
That's better.
What are you talking about? Tucker Kraft? What are you talking about? Tucker Kraft was the leading tight end last week.
Nico Collins is out for the season, so they don't have.
No, he's not.
He'll be back in like 4 weeks.
3 more weeks. Yeah.
Not for the season. I meant to say he's out right now. Not for the season. He's out right now. So they've been playing the last 2 games without Nico Collins.
1.5.
When you look at it, Stroud is on his 2nd year. Love been in the league for 4 years.
Yeah, but this is only the
he's been
second
a
year
backup for
starting.
2, Papo. Yo, he's been a backup for 2. Come on, man. Don't start with that shit.
Nah,
He's been a
but
backup for 2 years.
But what I'm saying is he's able to. He's been there in order to learn behind Aaron Rodgers. He was there learning behind Aaron Rodgers. C.J. Stroud came in as a rookie, and he set the league on fire his rookie year. This is his second year. It's starting to. A lot of people got film on him, so some of his stats came down some because they got a film on him now. But he's still playing great. He's still playing great.
I'm with you on that. No, I'm with you on that. No, I'm with you on that.
Yeah, I feel like I would take C.J. Stroud over Love.
I'm with you with that. But this guy Brett just sees an Ohio State Buckeye, and that's it.
No, I would take C.J. Stroud because Love has been in the league longer, but C.J. Stroud surpassed him as a starter quarterback in my eyes. He surpassed him as a starting quarterback in his second year.
Let me tell you something.
I don't even understand how can you say that when last year Love had a better statistical year than C.J. Stroud.
Yeah, but Stroud was more of a leader. Stroud is a.
Oh my God, more of a leader. Are you kidding me, bro? They both went to the playoffs. They both won a playoff game.
Bro,
can you make that statement?
Brett, you're off Sundays. Do you watch the games?
No, I don't watch the games. I check the scores on my phone, bro. What do you think, bro?
Well, I don't know. I do that sometimes too. I work on Sundays too sometimes. But let me tell you something about Stroud. The way he stands in the pocket and waits there and looks, he don't throw off his back foot, Stroud. He don't throw that shit off his back foot.
You know why he throws off the back foot? Because he thinks he's Aaron Rodgers, bro. He thinks he's young.
Well, that's a problem, Papo. That's a problem then. That's not going to last. Just like the Jaden Daniels not fumbling or throwing picks, that shit is regression.
You just want to give people the kiss of death.
That's what you want. That's what you pray for. That's my opinion.
This guy he hasn't fumbled once. You're right. Everybody's gonna fumble, but damn.
Tom, I can see a spin-off show over here. The Worman.
Worman Brett? Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And I hope he gets the royalties.
That should be like 3 hours, yo. We're still talking personal, be like, you bought your wife a penny a la vodka? No, I bought her something else. That's what Brett would do. You remind me of my fucking Puerto Rican cousin. You're Puerto Rican, right, Brett?
Yeah.
He looks
reminds
Asian,
me of my cousin.
He's Puerto Rican. He looks Chinese, though.
Nah.
You still make a bet against Ron.
Oh, shit. Damn, Sock.
I can't with you guys. I can't. I'm done. I gotta smoke a cigarette soon.
Jesus Christ.
Yo, I'm gonna get out of here too, fellas. I gotta wake up at like 4 a.m. So I'll holler at y'all.
All right, Brett. Thanks for coming through.
All right, we'll talk more.
All right, Brett.
Yankees in 5.
All right, peace, fellas. Good night.
Yankees in 5.
He would have been like, he would have been like, fuck you, Sock. Who just dropped off?
Unbelievable.
Who just dropped off? Was that D3?
D3? He's doing Dog the Bounty Hunter job right now.
Sock,
I was going to ask him. Was he surprised on his Washington Commanders start? I mean, right now they're in first place.
Yeah, he spoke about it a little earlier. He's hyped.
I wanted to start some shit with him and Brett, but Brett bailed.
Sock. My theory on the Nationals, the Commanders, that shit gonna hit the fan. I'm telling you, that shit has to be negative regression coming soon. It's just the way that logic works. People are not getting that.
I mean,
if you don't think that the Commanders are going to regress negatively, you might as well put money on him, the MVP.
I mean, you could make the argument that he's the best quarterback in the division.
Yeah, but they're going to regress. Just like Donald's about to regress negatively, big time.
Yeah.
It's a stock market. Yeah, I tell people all the time, you got to look at the NFL as a stock market. The Raiders are always, you bet them 1 week, and the next week you don't bet them. Raiders, you bet them next week, but Sam Darnold, if you invested him early, you get out now.
That's true.
Out now.
I wonder.
Am I crazy?
Is there a QB controversy brewing in Minnesota? Because I mean, they took a QB in the first round,
No,
And
I don't.
if the
Oh,
Vikings
but
make
you
the
mean next year?
playoffs, right? If the
Yeah.
Vikings make the playoffs, how do you not play Darnold? I mean, I know that's a year from now, but I mean, they're 5-0,
And
bro.
Sock, have we? I feel like we have been into that situation somehow. I think it was Garoppolo or somebody. It has happened that we seen a guy that was nobody, and the young guy got hurt. I think it was Garoppolo with Trey Lance, right? I think so, right?
Yeah,
It
yeah,
has
yeah.
happened.
But Trey Lance
It
got
has happened.
hurt because Trey Lance was named the starter.
And then Garoppolo, they went to the Super Bowl, no?
And I'm looking. The NFC Central is the only
I
division.
think so, yeah. Or the NFC Championship game.
Right now, the NFC Central, like, is the only division with everyone is at least 2 games over 500.
And
The
and
North. You
Williams
mean
is
the
not
North?
The North, the
the
old
North,
NFC
yeah,
Central,
the Norris division.
the North division,
And William
correct?
and Caleb is nothing to sneeze at. He may take that Rookie of the Year from Daniels.
She is definitely getting better.
Because the later you see the guy, the more votes go for the guy. I think Daniel started too early with his high play. You can't keep it up. It's called mathematics. There's nothing that keeps it up. There's this negative regression coming in every NFL team in the world.
So you think the Commanders will hit a wall?
Mm-hmm. I guarantee it. I guarantee. I will
Your
put.
rebuttal.
D3 came just in time.
Yo,
D3, you there?
Stop arresting people for meth, man.
D3 got somebody in the headlock right now.
Yeah, the Dog the Bounty Hunter 2.0.
Selling Lucy's.
Yeah, selling Lucy's with a gun? Like, come on, bro. Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Yeah, he got somebody hemmed up.
But
He
I'll
tried to show me the
speak
gun.
before.
He tried to show me the gun last week too. That was mad funny.
I'll speak before D3 gets and says this. Oh, is D3 you there?
I'm telling you.
Yeah, he got somebody yoked up.
Yeah.
He don't have handcuffs. He has a twine.
Right.
He has twine.
You, I think Worm, you're right. I mean, for people not to say that they're not being realistic. I mean, of course they're going to hit a wall. Everybody hits a wall. I mean, unless you're going to go undefeated, right? I mean,
yeah, a rookie quarterback too.
Yeah, you're going to have bad games. You're going to have bad games.
Right.
And he's not going to do this all year long. I mean, if he does, then give him the MVP, right? But
let me say that if you're a person that thinks like D3, if you're a fan, just bet them to win the division, bet them to win Rookie of the Year, and bet them to win MVP. Because if he gets there on the first seed, if he wins the NFC East, number 1, they're gonna give him the MVP.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if they give him an MVP because if Lamar keeps playing the way he is, I mean, the last time a rookie got an MVP, we gotta go all the way back to Jim Brown. I don't know.
You knew that? Yeah, that's great.
I don't know if you give him the MVP, but I think he definitely will be in the conversation. Now I'm not saying that he can't win the MVP because if he keep playing the way he is playing, he very well may because Lamar can have some bad games and they say, you know what? Jaden Daniels deserved the MVP. His team was the second worst team in the league last year, and he's a rookie, and he set the lead on fire. He very well could, but like I said, it would be the first time since Jim Brown that a rookie won MVP and Rookie of the Year, and so I don't know if he wins MVP, but I do believe that he'll still win Rookie of the Year because even with the loss like he had last week, he still played good. He didn't have any turnovers. He threw 2 touchdowns. On his end, he played good. The defense didn't play good, but he played good. So I still think he will win Rookie of the Year. I don't know if he'll get MVP, though. I think he'll be in a conversation, but I don't know if he'll get it.
But it's funny you brought up Lamar, too. I think if it was like close to Lamar, I think the NFL will give it to Daniels before Lamar. Because there's a stigma with Lamar, even though he won 2. You don't see him on the commercials. You don't see him on the videos still to this day. They have a gripe with Lamar winning MVP for some reason, the NFL media. It's like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, you see Patrick Mahomes on every commercial. You see Baker Mayfield still in commercials. They have a gripe with Lamar being the MVP. And if I had to pick somebody to win MVP this year and to be a third-time MVP, is Lamar. He deserves the respect of the media and the fans. But for some reason, I don't want to say the reason, but we all know they don't push him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, Lamar, he got a commercial I've been seeing lately, the Gatorade commercial or whatever. I don't know. Maybe he's starting to grow on people now because they starting to give him his just due.
Yeah.
But Lamar, he's a hell of a quarterback. He's a hell of a quarterback. And the only problem he's getting better at it. The only problem I have with Lamar is sitting in the pocket. But he's getting better at that now than he was earlier in his career. So I take nothing away from Lamar. Lamar is a hell of a quarterback.
Just like Vic before he went to jail. Vic started learning to be in the pocket. And then right then, he went to jail.
They were running the hunt for that Adams trade. I think if Adams would have gone over there, that would have put them over the top.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I would love. I mean, he my quarterback. I would love for Jaden Daniels to get all those awards and we win the division. The likelihood of that, if that happening, is very unlikely. But hey, I've seen a lot of things happen.
Yeah, but D-Free.
It very well could happen.
The D-Free. No, it's because of regression. It will not happen. But if you think they're going to be on this pace the whole year, he should be MVP.
Yeah.
To change a franchise like that. No, to change a franchise like that.
Well, I mean,
they just lost Jonathan Allen, mind you, right? They just lost Jonathan Allen, their best player, and they keep going. If they keep going, he should be MVP.
We'll check it.
Yeah, for sure. He like I said, he definitely is in the conversation. The only question is when you have a reigning MVP who's still playing on an MVP level, does a rookie beat him out? I don't know.
First of all, can I say one thing? You know who's the reigning MVP to the media and the public? Even though Lamar won last year, Mahomes is always the reigning MVP, no matter what.
Well,
so
actually, not right now. Not right now.
No, I'm just saying that to people, Mahomes is the reigning MVP. Yes. So even though Lamar won it last year, Mahomes is still the reigning. Even for Lamar that won it last year, he's playing against the reigning MVP, Mahomes.
Okay, I'm looking at the Commanders' next 3 games. Carolina.
What's the game?
Carolina this week. You figure they should handle them. The Bears at home. Now there's a lot of history
Monday night.
there.
That's a Monday night, no?
It should be, but no, it'll probably be like the game of the week.
No, it's going to be a Sunday afternoon game. Yeah, Sunday afternoon.
4:25. Great game.
You got the Giants on the road, and then Pittsburgh, and then they play the Eagles finally on a Thursday night. It's not a terrible stretch. I mean, let's say it's on the road. I can see them losing that game to Philly, only because it's on the road. But I mean, so you figure 1, 2, 3, 4 more wins. That puts the Commanders at 8 wins at this stage in the season. You got to be feeling pretty good.
Yeah, I think Washington, because I said I said before the Ravens game, if Washington get past the Ravens, I didn't really see too many teams that will beat them. I said I don't believe that they will go undefeated the rest of the season, but I didn't see too many teams that will beat them. Even after that game with the Ravens, I'm not scared of nobody that we got on our schedule that's left. I'm not scared of nobody.
Shit, King. Now you got Dallas and Philly back to back.
Yeah, I'm not scared of either one of them.
But that's always a coin toss. So even with the Giants played you hard that game. Giants should have won.
Yeah, that was. But the Giants always played them tough. Like the Giants have owned them. Yeah,
they own them. Yeah, man. Yo, listen, this is not that easy as you think, man. There's something gonna happen.
But it's there. The division is there for them because the Philly has not looked great either. You know, so I mean, no matter what Brett says, and Brett will be honest about it too. Philly has not played great as well, right? So the division will be there. Now the only time we really will tell is when Washington plays Philly, right? Then we'll know, you know, if they're a contender or a pretender.
If they can compete, yeah.
See, you know what I take away from that Giants game? That was the second game of the season. And the thing that I took away from Giants game, that was the game that the entire team bought into Dan Quinn's philosophy. I think that was the game because they was able to march down the field. Although they had trouble in the red zone, and it wasn't the offense, it was the offensive line. They kept getting penalties, and we kept getting pushed back. So I think even though we won that by kicking 7 field goals, we kicked 7 field goals and won the game. We kicked 7 field goals and won the game.
That's harder to win. That's harder to win than anything.
Yeah, that's harder. By us kicking 7 field goals and still won, the team bought in. And you saw what they did after that. They went on a 4-game winning streak. I mean, well, they went on a 3-game winning streak after that. That was part of the 4-game winning streak that they went on. And the following game after that, who we faced? The Bengals. And you saw what they did in the Bengals game. So
Monday night.
Yeah, I look at that Giants game. Although we didn't score any touchdowns, that was the game that they needed to say, you know what, this might work. This might actually work, and they started believing. So yeah, everybody said the Giants should have won that game, but they didn't. And one team looked at that and took that as a test and grew from it. The other team pretty much stayed the same as they always been. So I look at it as it was a measuring stick, and the team saw what they can do, and they grew from that.
You know what I like about the Commanders too? When they had Brian Johnson, and they thought Eckler was a throwaway this year. He's became like the other stud of the team, Eckler. That was a throwaway. People gave up on him on San Diego on the Chargers, and he's been a big factor for them. And McLaurin has made the Commanders with Eckler. Eckler was done. They were like, he's done, but he's been their star. And then with McLaurin too. McLaurin was dead in the weeds, and he's become rejuvenated with Daniels.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at McLaurin, he's been in the league 5 years. He's been in the league 5 years, and in those 5 years, he's had 11 quarterbacks. And in those 11 quarterbacks, he's hit 1,000 yards every single season except for his rookie year, and he missed 1,000 yards by 3 yards his rookie year.
Yeah, he was actually good that year too. He was good.
Yeah, he missed it by 3 yards his rookie year. Now he has a much better quarterback than all of those other quarterbacks combined. He like, man, I'm good. I finally got a quarterback that can get me the ball. I ain't got to worry about is this quarterback going to be able to go through his reading and get me the ball, or does he have a strong enough arm? I know he can get me the ball at any given time, whether I'm covered or not covered. He can get me the ball. He never had that before.
Yeah, I agree with you most of it. I just feel it's just mathematics with me. I feel like negative regression is coming. I don't know if that's me being this way, but I just feel like it's not gonna go perfectly as you think. I mean, that's just the odds. The odds.
Yeah, I mean, everybody. I mean, we all see it. I mean, you always got that pushback because with most people, something is going to happen and it's going to derail the
just like RG3 too.
Yeah, something is going to derail it. So you see it with multiple people. Usually 90% of the people that come in, is something that happens and it derails the success that they started off with. But you always have that 10% that actually get by and they keep progressing every single week. You be like, dang, I didn't think he was going to do this the entire season, but he did. Like with CJ Stroud, that 5th game, when he started taking off, everybody like, oh, he going to come back down to earth. Nah, he just kept doing it every single week. He just kept doing it. The same thing with Lamar. When Lamar got his start, and Lamar started taking off. They were like, man, Lamar, he's not a good pocket quarterback. At some point, he's going to get benched. No, he kept doing it every single week.
MVP. Yes, sir. Yeah.
You see Case Avoid hating? He said Washington ain't shit.
He said Washington ain't shit because he wanted Jaden Daniels in New Orleans, but y'all won too many games. I told you I'm happy that the Jets kicked that daggone field goal and gave us the second seed. Because if the Jets wouldn't have made that field goal, we would have been in the third seed.
I love that you notice stuff like that because I never forget. I think we could have got Darren McFadden. Remember Sox? Remember McFadden from Arkansas?
He had more kids and yards per carry.
Yeah, but he was a great player. I forgot who we got. And I remember they just won a game. But I like D3 saying that because I remember they just won a game. I'm like, oh, we're not going to get Darren McFadden. So I think we got somebody worse. I think Vernon Golston instead of Darren McFadden, who was the worst. But I like that D3 sees that the little plays make the pick.
Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for that field goal that they made, gave us the second round pick. The second overall pick. If they would have missed that field goal, we would have won that game. We would have had the third overall pick instead of the second overall pick.
Worm, your thoughts on Adams and what if you were a betting man? If on a scale of 1 to 5, the Jets making the playoffs is a what?
I talked about this before you came on. I said, can Adams block? Can Adams block? No, he can't block. If the odds were 20% to make the playoffs, it just went up 24%. It's not a big difference.
Really?
It's a team. It's a team of football. Team of football. What I grew up with, all of us grew up with, is a team and camaraderie. You don't even have a coach. You fired your coach. Your line is not that great. You're not making these plays like these motion plays. Put Wilson in the backfield. Getting a great wide receiver doesn't matter that much no more to me. That's how you play it. And I told him before. I said, "Stop." If you gave Shanahan the whole Jets offense, how much better they would be? Way better.
Is Rodgers?
I think it only went up 4% because right after y'all signed Adams, the Bills went and signed Amari Cooper. I think if the Bills went and signed Amari Cooper,
Great point, D3.
Y'all probably would have won the division if the Bills didn't go sign Amari Cooper because I think Adams is going to give y'all more wins with him than y'all would have got without him.
No, but can I say something? You know who's more valuable? Most media and fans would say that Devontae Adams was more valuable trade. To me, getting Cooper, the Bills became way better than the Jets. Honest opinion, 100%. Because Allen needed a possession guy. This guy been balling out with no possession guys at all. To me, Allen is the top 5 quarterbacks in the league right now. Allen is a beast. He's Cam Newton white. Allen. He's Cam Newton white. And he's been doing it longer than Cam Newton did. To have a possession guy now that doesn't complain, Cooper, after he got hit in the head by Pac-Man Jones with the helmet, he's been very respectful. I'm going to cast the ball, and that's it. But Adams now, let's just say this game hypothetically against Pittsburgh, Adams gets 2 catches. There's going to be a shit show in the locker room. The whole Jet locker room now is a shit show. The owner is a piece of shit. He just cares about London. And he was an ambassador of London. My whole franchise here is a joke. Fireman is complaining that he's not on the big screen anymore. This is what my franchise is about.
Yeah, Fireman Ed, yeah.
I'm a Raider fan. Hold my beer, motherfucker.
I'm a Raider fan too because you in Reno, so I have to deal with that too.
Listen.
You don't have to deal with that too.
I got to sit through a fucking game that is 80% Steeler fans. I'm like, mute me, Tom. Where are the fucking mass shooters here? Like, how the fuck is
oh my 80%? God.
They'll be there in LA, though. No, they'll be there in LA. They'll be there in LA.
The essays will come out. The essays will come out because they bought their
They're coming out. No, they're going to see the ex-girlfriend. They're gonna see their ex-girlfriend. They'll be there, and they wear their best Raider black jersey.
It's gonna be. All right, we're gonna flip the script on the Rams. Nobody's a Ram fan in LA.
Hey,
Anymore.
I'm gonna tell you this:
No.
if the Raiders can't beat the Rams with them not having their two best weapons,
they're tanking.
The Raiders, the Raiders is definitely tanking.
No, they winning that game because they gave him the vote of confidence too. Even Brady called Pierce and said, "Yo, gave him the vote of confidence."
It could
They're
be
winning that game. They're winning that game. You can't bet on this thing. I don't know why I bet on the Raiders, but you can't bet on them every week. You have to go back and forth, just like the Cardinals too. The Cardinals and Colin Murray. We didn't talk about the Cardinals. Who the Cardinals playing again? They're playing.
They're playing against we just saw it.
Do they have a bye?
No, they're playing
Monday night.
No, they playing this week.
Okay.
Yeah, they playing Monday night. They playing
The
Monday
Chargers?
night.
Is it the Chargers?
Chargers, yeah. I think they beat the Chargers. No, they beat them.
And see,
Who?
I would have thought the Raiders and the Rams would have been an easy game for the Raiders, or a winnable game for the Raiders if I didn't see the Rams beat the 49ers. When I saw the
That
Rams
don't matter.
beat the 49ers,
That's the trick, though. D-free. That's the trick to get you to bet the other team every week. That's the trick.
I don't know.
Yeah, D. That's the trick. Then I did my calculations. It's -7 for the Rams. It's -5 really. It should be -5.
Yeah, I mean, it is what like I said. I don't know. If the Raiders win, hats off to them. I mean, I like Antonio Pierce. So if they win, I'm happy because I mean that was one of my favorite linebackers that we had, and I was sad to see him go, especially to the Giants. But
he went to the Redskins too.
Oh no,
he was from the Redskins.
Yeah,
he was nice on the Redskins.
He was my favorite linebacker.
Yeah, he was a beast. Yeah. Oh, you're old.
I just don't. I'm 48. I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm not too big on the.
Come on, man.
Excuse me. I'm not too big on the Raiders right now. I mean, the Raiders. I just don't. I don't have confidence in their quarterback. O'Donnell.
So what the Raiders are? They're just to blockade your parlay and destroy it. But you got to get it right the right week. This is what do. So by week 8 and 7, there's teams to destroy your parlay, and the Raiders are one of them. So you got to go back and forth with them.
Yeah, don't like on my parlay. The Raiders and the Rams is a game that I stay away from. That's a game that I stay away from because I don't know what I'm gonna get with either one of those teams right now. Either one of those teams, I don't know what to get. So I stay away from that game, and I'd rather bet on the Chargers and the Arizona Cardinals.
The Cardinals gonna win.
I ain't touching that game.
I mean,
look
the guy just had a heart attack.
He said, "Yeah, he old." Yo, Warren, you mad disrespectful. Everybody on this panel is about the same age except you. Saying we old.
I'm old too. I'm 40.
Yeah, but we're 47, 48.
That's not my problem.
Okay.
So your parents have sex 7 years earlier. They weren't having sex that long. I'm a man. I'm 40.
Yeah, I'm gonna wrap this one up, guys. But big college game tomorrow. Georgia and Texas.
Texas all the way. They're the darlings.
I got Texas. I don't like how Georgia's looking this year. They look real vulnerable against mediocre teams. I don't like how they play. And their quarterback doesn't have a whole bunch of confidence. So I'm gonna go with Texas.
Who's starting?
Is -5 for Texas.
Where at?
Is Manning starting?
Austin, Texas.
Who's starting?
For Texas?
Manning or the Ewers?
I don't think it's Manning. The other guy's been starting, I think.
No, Manning started last game, no?
Honestly, I don't know. I don't think he did. Against Oklahoma?
Whatever. Their mascot has Down syndrome, the dog, so it doesn't matter anyway. Whatever.
Cut his mic off.
Yeah.
Yo, this guy's
I love
unbelievable,
you guys.
bro. Like,
You guys are the best. I
He's
told
a
you good
Hoya.
night, man.
What's the difference between a bulldog and a Hoya?
wait, say that again.
The Down syndrome. Down syndrome. And Patrick Ewing played for the Hoyas. That's the difference. That's the two difference. Down syndrome and Patrick Ewing played for the Hoyas. Good night, guys. I'll see you guys next week.
All right, thanks.
Let's go,
Mark.
Jets.
Have a good night. But yeah, Ewers started last week. Ewers played the whole game. Manning didn't even get in. Yeah, Ewers was 20 for 29. He froze? Or he left.
Yeah, I think he left.
I don't know if he froze, but if I were to freeze, I would probably bet that's how you look when you freeze.
Yeah, I don't know. I would just leave it like that because it's just, it looks mad patio
I
too.
gotta take a picture of that.
Oh, we gonna throw this nigga.
Yeah. Yeah, I just I thought the spread would be a little bit higher, but it's only -5 from what I see with Texas.
I mean, Georgia. If Georgia plays their game, it's going to be a close game, but it's like Georgia's been looking real vulnerable. Like I don't know what it is. I don't know if they lost too many starters, and so they don't have the chemistry down yet. But it's like they look real vulnerable. Like that game against Alabama, I just knew it was going to be a close game, but it looked like Georgia didn't even belong on the same field as Alabama. Alabama just ran up and down the field on Georgia, and I didn't expect that. I thought Georgia was going to keep it close.
Yeah. They beat Mississippi State last week. Mississippi State is a pretty good team. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I think that's the game of the week. I don't see any other game that's that comes close. That's 1 versus 5.
It's a great game.
Yeah.
Notre Dame is going to get a big victory. They're going to get a big victory.
Who they got tomorrow?
I don't know who it is. I saw it, but I can't remember who it is. But I know they need to win out in order to make the playoffs. They need to win out.
Yeah. Let me just check because I know next week we're going to the game against Nate. They play Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
Yeah, Georgia Tech. Yeah.
In Atlanta. Yeah, so that's they should be Georgia Tech. They're supposed to.
They should smash Georgia Tech.
Alabama plays at Tennessee. That's a big game too. 7 versus 11. That should be pretty competitive.
And I thought Alabama was gonna run away with it, and then they had that disappointing loss 2 weeks ago. Disappointing loss.
I think they stomp out Tennessee tomorrow. I don't think Tennessee's that good, but Alabama plays at Tennessee, so that's 7 versus 11. Another game, Miami at Louisville. Miami's been in some, crazy games where they had to come back at Louisville. That's an interesting game. Louisville hasn't been, that good.
But Miami has the best.
What's the point? What's the point spread on that?
They're only favored by 5 at Louisville.
Give me Louisville with the points. I got Louisville with the points. Miami defense is real suspect this year. Real suspect.
What was you going to Sock? You was going to say something about Miami?
I think they got the best player in the field.
The quarterback, right?
He might be the Heisman.
Yeah, I think he is right now.
He is Cam Newton with a better arm, in my opinion.
Yeah, and if they keep winning, it's only going to help. I mean, they're ranked
with a better arm.
Yeah. Yeah, so this got some good games tomorrow. It'll be interesting. Let me see what case was, but Tennessee hasn't beat Alabama in a lot of years. Yeah, it's been a minute. I have a feeling Alabama's going to roll over them. It'll be good if Tennessee wins. I'm a root for Tennessee though.
I hope Alabama wins also.
You hope Alabama wins?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, I'm rooting for Tennessee. I'm an Alabama hater.
I'm rooting for anybody that's in front of Notre Dame to lose. Anybody that's in front of Notre Dame, I'm rooting for them to lose.
The schedule for Notre Dame, if I remember off the top of my head, it's not that bad. I mean, Florida State. Yeah, Florida State was supposed to be a tough game before the season started because Florida State was ranked like 1 or 2. But you know, they got Florida State and USC. I think those are the 2 toughest games they got. You know, at Georgia Tech, it's not a tough. You know,
Florida State, you could count that out as a tough game. Florida State been straight ass cheeks all year.
But remember we lost to a bum team too.
They might be the only team that I can compare them to the Carolina Panthers. They are straight ass cheeks. I don't like nothing about Florida State this year. And Florida State is usually
how they were ranked so high preseason.
Because last year they was pretty good. They was pretty good last year. This year it's a major drop off with Florida State. Major drop off.
And who they lost? They lost. Did they lose to Georgia Tech? Was the first game? Was it Georgia Tech?
Yeah,
I feel
like they got blown out by Georgia Tech the first game. Blown out.
Wow.
But the only game I'm worried about is the USC because USC always play us hard. They always play us tough every single year. No matter how bad USC is, no matter how bad Notre Dame is, that game always come down to the last possession. Every single game.
Yeah. Real quick before we go off, Sock, so are you able to do that with us tomorrow? Because I really don't want to do it unless you're there. If you could do it, so he said, Chop said 5 o'clock, but maybe we could push it a little bit later.
5 o'clock U.S. time.
Yeah, so he said 2 o'clock. Yeah, because he told me I sent you the text. He said 2 o'clock his time, which is 5 o'clock for us. I could maybe push it later. He might do it, but he said he's got in the afternoon after he goes to the gym or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a fascinating interview. The fact that a guy that's almost 50 years old fighting. I know he did bare knuckle recently. I don't know where he's being sanctioned, but he also has a good story. I mean, he has been in there with the best of the era. I mean, Miguel Cotto, Floyd. I mean, he had a really good career.
Yeah, the one thing I will say about him, he didn't take a lot of punishment because if you hear Chop talk, he sounds like the same Chop from back in the day. He doesn't have any speech impediment or nothing like that. He sound like the same old Chop.
And he looks in great shape. I mean, he's just genetically gifted.
Well, I'll tell you what, I did now look and see he's fighting next week, and I know the guy he's fighting. I've seen him before. He's fighting Michael Williams Jr., D-Free. You know who that is too, I think.
Yeah.
So Michael Williams Jr., right?
Where was that at, Tom?
What?
The fight.
The fight, it says Crown Coliseum in Fayetteville.
Arkansas?
I don't know. Is that Arkansas? I don't know.
Fayetteville is in Arkansas.
No, North Carolina.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
And I believe that's the hometown of Michael Williams Jr. So Michael Williams Jr., he lost his fight against John Bowser. And I believe he was supposed to have a fight against Broner, and Broner pulled out. And then, right? Was it Broner?
No, Broner didn't pull out. What happened was Michael Williams Jr. got injured in a fight.
That's right. Yes.
Roy Jones had him sparring a week of the fight, and he got injured the week of the fight.
Yeah. So that's an interesting fight. Michael Williams Jr. trying to, get some wins. He was undefeated until he fought John Bowser, the Puerto Rican that fights out of Jersey. That was in the Garden a few years ago. I remember that fight. He was stopped by Bowser, and then he's got a few wins. He's a good kid. I've seen his father on different platforms. The father seems like a good guy. I believe he was a police officer, and I believe Michael Williams Jr. is also he was in the academy or something as well. He might be a police officer as well. So it's interesting. I go figure. He's fighting Michael Williams Jr. So I mean, we could talk about that if he knows who he is. But this is a sanctioned fight. I thought it was like one of those. I thought it was knuckle. knuckle fighting. Huh?
Is bare knuckle?
I thought it was bare knuckle. I don't think so. This is on BoxRec, and this is
Yeah.
where I found it. So it's a sanctioned fight.
I mean, look, I think Chop Chop. I've always liked Chop Chop. I mean, he had a good career. I mean, he fought, like I said, he fought the best of the era. Randall Bailey. Did he fight Zab?
I want to say yes.
I believe he did. Yeah. He did.
I mean, Zab, Miguel Cotto, Floyd Mayweather, Randall Bailey. He had a really good career. You know,
he lost the title to Zab. Yeah, he fought, and it was a split decision.
So I think he would be a really good good interview, and the fact that he's able, you know, he's fighting at almost 50 years of age. I mean, right? I mean,
he's 50 years old. He turned 50 this year.
Right. I mean, you're like, wow, like kind of cringe. You're like, wow, you're like, wow, how can you allow a guy that's 50 years old? But you know, I believe in, you know, being, you know, the autonomy of the body. You know, if you're able to make a physical or to pass a physical, you should be able to decide what you want to do with your life. So I'm sure he has his own opinion. So it'll be a good interview.
Yeah, I mean, look at Bernard. Bernard fought until he was 51. He won a championship at 46.
Correct.
So yeah, so I mean, if you take care of your body, and Chop Chop is one of those type of dudes that he takes boxing very serious. He lives a boxer lifestyle. Even when you see him now, you see him, he's in shape. Every time you see him, he's in shape. So he's one of those guys that take boxing very serious. And if you take care of your body, you can fight for a long time. And most of these guys, they get that money and they go out and live like they got the money, and they get overweight. They end up having to move out the weight class because they ate themselves out the weight class, and now they can't lose the weight as easy because they in their 30s or they getting closer to 40, and so it's harder for them to lose the weight. But Chop Chop not like that.
No. He comes from a boxing hotbed. I mean, he's from that DC area. So I think he should have a lot of good stories.
Yeah, he's one, you know, from DC. That's you know, D-Free. That's your you know, your neck of the woods, right? He's one of the top guys out of that area too. So
I mean,
I remember when Chop Chop was coming up. He's coming up at the same time as William Joppy, Keith Holmes.
Yes.
Because we had a lot of fighters coming out at that time. My cousin Gary Jones at that time was fighting too. So it was a lot of guys coming out of DC around the same time that Chop Chop was coming out. So yeah,
I see Rockman, right?
Chop Chop did. Yeah.
Yeah, Rockman's from that area too. Yeah. So tomorrow I'll text him tomorrow morning, like late morning, where it's, you know, not too early for him. And Sock, what's a good time for you? Like, so this way I could, you know,
we there. We there. You say the time, I'm there.
All right, I'm gonna try to aim. I'm gonna talk to 503 because 503 said his son got a football game, so maybe
he lives in Vegas.
Yeah. But he said 2:00, which is 5:00 for us. So I'm gonna aim between 5 and 6. So is that good for you, D-Free?
Yeah, I'm good. All
right, and then D-Free, you and Sock I'll be on, but D-Free, you know, being it, you know, that's, you know, from Washington DC, you know, just, you know, you could kind of lead if you want. So but I'll set everything up and we'll do it live. You know what I'm saying? So I'll hit him up in the morning. I'll get the confirmation. I'll tell him maybe 5, 6. Once he confirms, I'll set it up. I'll let you guys know, send you out a link, and, you know, so get the questions ready and stuff like that. And then, you know, we'll just chop it up with him. Go figure. Chop. We'll chop it up with Chop Chop. Right? That's what I'm going to name it. Chopping it up with Chop Chop. So, all right, guys. So this is good. We're on a bit longer. So tomorrow we got some good fights tomorrow night. So yeah, and let's go Yankees. Fuck you, Sock.
It's okay. I've been hating the Yankees. How old am I? 46. I've been hating these motherfuckers for at least 40 years. At least.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Yeah. the Dodgers look like the team to beat. But I mean, if the Mets win Game 6, the pressure on them is going to be insane.
Right. Yes. I agree.
So
the Mets get to Game 7, there's going to be a lot of sweaty buttholes in LA. It's going to be like a Diddy party.
Yeah. Well, you know, that's as a Yankee fan, you know, now mind you, listen, I've seen this before, and obviously you've seen it before personally. You know, 3-1 is not a guarantee to go to the World Series. You still got to close it out. You know, so hopefully the Yankees can close it out, but then they come back to New York. But I mean, if the Yankees could close it out, I would love a Game 7 in LA, right? Because it's all hands on deck. So you know they're throwing everybody's getting thrown out there. Like all pitchers are pitching. So, you know, I'm rooting for the Mets. I want to see a Game 7.
It was interesting. Roberts let Flaherty take it on the chin.
Yeah.
But they got 8 runs off his ass.
Yeah. It was 8. What is it? 8-0, right?
Yeah, that's it. That's how you got to play it. I mean, the Mets are the better team. I mean, clearly, especially if Mookie Betts is hitting, there's no way that the Mets will beat the Dodgers. But Freeman, I heard, may not play. Like his injury is really serious. You know, he's playing off of guts, and he went like 0 for 5. You know, so let's see what happens.
Yeah,
that's why they play the games.
Yep. All right, guys. So we'll chop it up again tomorrow, and hopefully this guy can come through and confirm, and you know we have another good interview. That'll be dope. But I need my 2 guys there on time. Sock. All right, guys. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
All right, no problem.
All right, man.
Triple T.
Peace. Yeah. Peace to everybody that came through and showed love. Salute to you guys. K Savoy, I know you're still in here. Thanks for coming through. And catch us on the rebound. See y'all tomorrow.